spokesman?
I'm the member that knows nothing.
Oh, you do, that's not right at all. Well, there. Don't come in here, plumber, when we've already said the prayer. Come on in.
I don't want to think that that's a lost cause.
You never lost.
Be afraid you showed up.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. You guys, you're here for on down the line anyway. You're not here for public comment, are you? Okay,
Now, we were going to be here mostly, I think, with Sarah's piece, whenever that is.
okay. Dr. Stevens?
I don't have anything for public comment unless there's anything the commission has questions on the school district's part.
Well, I want to, I don't know who to thank, but thank you for the school. Opening it up and letting it, be open to people. I'm sad that, a lot of people throw fits, drag, and it's hard to leave their homes, I know, as bad as they may be at the time, but I was really disappointed that nobody came and used the facility. It really, that's the way it is.
I understand a couple people came and got some meals and some water at least, and if that did that, we appreciate it.
Right.
We really appreciate the coaches were great to work with and moving some of the camps around, and it was a good chance to get to meet Miller. I got that right. Carnes. And also Marie was great to work with. Everybody volunteers, and we have people from Topeka and different communities that come out. And
Come on in, sir.
anyway, for what it's worth. So.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate your efforts. And did you get a sunburn the other day?
A little bit.
I seen you run that riding mower. Did I see your daughter working really hard, not on a riding mower?
Yeah.
I think she was weeding, wasn't she? I think she's weed eating or something over there, it looked
I
like.
think it's all part of the experience. So, no.
Yeah, well, you're bringing her up right.
Yeah.
I think isn't that what Chris Smith said? He took his sons
Yeah,
to help set up.
Absolutely.
To put them to work. I always do that with my sons too. It's
They're
like,
all-
you serve too, you serve
I
too.
grew up carrying ballot bags up in the courthouse out in Scott County during election '92 that ran to 3 in the morning. But that's part of being an indentured son of the county clerk. So.
well, I used my kids as long as I could, and now,
Yeah.
Okay.
hey, I need some help.
It comes back, don't it?
Man, well, we need help too. We're busy.
That's right. Train them up to serve, and then I'm away from them. So
Okay. So,
He said he's on his way over now, so no.
okay. All right, well, we'll wait on him.
Thank you so much. Marie and I talked that night, it's like all these years, we have never set up a shelter, and it's like, dang.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, I think we all had we've all learned a lot from that. I think it was great to go ahead and do it like it was.
Yeah.
The next time, if there is, God willing, there isn't a bad one, but who knows? We'll be on it faster, I think,
Yeah, there were some really good things we learned through that. Just where stuff is locked up, how to handle different types of situations with like volunteers coming in, and then also on the communication side, getting word out has been kind of something that I think we're always overcoming, because some people use social media, some people use this, and anyway, so that, and I think to the south of us, they're learning too as a community through it, because this line is overwhelmed with just a ton
terrible.
of storm damage. So
Yeah, it looked like a disaster area.
Yeah.
I was only there for a few minutes. And
right.
those signs like 81 were just twisted and torn to the ground.
Yeah.
You can tell the winds were powerful.
We didn't laugh, but it's like, oh.
Not that I want to take anything away from school at all, but we've also got a hold of Miller.
Okay.
And indicated that, somebody during
chair there, buddy, right there in the
Just put
center.
my stuff down.
There you go. I thought you were gonna try to sit down off center, now it
He
can
already
work.
knows the routine, he has to sit at the desk.
Well, start with, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming, and you've done a lot. I'm not gonna blow you up too far because I don't want you to get too big ahead, but I'm proud of what you've done. And, there's a lot of things I think we all learned, and, we can do better. Nothing bad, I mean, I don't see much at all.
I thought it was amazing,
Yeah.
considering, what was it, your
Yeah.
first week? of
Well,
work?
I guess I'm just gonna do it and say it. I guess if your head gets big, that's too bad. I had a lot of people come to me and say they appreciate the way you treated them, so just keep that up and you'll go a long way in life, cause that's how you make yourself better, by treating people right,
Absolutely.
so.
No, I do have to comment that you and I have had a conversation about a debriefing,
Mhm.
get people together and see what we did right, give everybody
Sure.
a pat on the back, what we did wrong, what we can improve on, just assess the situation. We were so fortunate not to lose any property, or not to lose any life,
Mhm.
or injuries,
Mhm.
but
Exactly.
learning
It
situation.
could very well happen though.
Mhm.
It could, we'll be ready.
So-
So what are you thinking about that?
So yeah, I was actually gonna bring it up before Dwayne beat me to it. So I'm gonna try and poll as many people as I can who were involved in the incident. Excuse me, as far as fire, EMS, sheriff's office, dispatchers, all of them. Try to get them in a room. I was gonna try and do it sometime last week, but recovery efforts stretched pretty far into the week and into the weekend, and we were also expecting more severe weather. So
Right.
I kind of just held off on it for a little bit, but I'm going to start making notifications today as far as getting folks, seeing if we
Well-
can get folks all set up to do
I
that.
won't, we're gonna be awful busy if it doesn't rain,
Mhm.
so I won't be available here in the evenings or anything, but I think these other two commissioners probably, if you want any of their input or you
Yeah,
want them to sit
absolutely.
in, I mean, I'm sure they'll be
Available.
more than available,
Absolutely.
so. So anyway, I think that'll be a good deal,
Mhm.
and, like I said, I didn't hear anything, well, there was negative people, but, you know, people are when they're under distress.
I appreciate you having that, trailer in Bennington.
Mhm.
I always struggle with how to get the word out in Bennington,
Mhm.
information out, since we don't have a newspaper, or, I don't know, but.
Facebook's about the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I did reach out to our church and said, would you put it out on our church, since it's a big
Mhm.
church. And, then when I called, they also put it out on the fire department auxiliary
Mhm.
website, so at least they could figure out the community a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I think it's always hard, small community like that.
It was used pretty well from what I could tell.
Oh, good.
And yeah, so I think that's one of the advantages that our Facebook page has.
I was
But,
impressed with the Facebook page.
Thank you. But yeah, I think it was well used. We kind of debated putting that trailer in Culver, but I think just the size differential between Bennington and Bennington had no power as Culver did, and with us being able to provide transportation to our shelter and having a few different locations and times and resources to kind of take care of folks, I think we said no, we can shuttle folks from Culver. There's less of them, and it'd be easy to just put the trailer up in Bennington.
Right.
And
So I appreciate that, and I was glad that you had phone recharging and everything
Mhm.
available to them and water, so thank you for doing that.
of course.
So, I know you've been busier than busy.
I got time to breathe today, a little
Probably
bit.
haven't had time to think about what you think about the pickup versus the
Mm-hmm.
car.
Well, I've thought about it a little bit. We only drove the pickup once, and that was with Keith to bring the trailer out. My first feeling is I like the Tahoe better, but I don't have a reason to justify keeping it over the sheriff.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Not
It's yours already.
it is.
So you
but-
don't have to give it up.
We'll see. I mean, as much as I don't want to, I mean, they may or may not need it more. I'm not sure,
I
but
don't- I don't think they will, because you're gonna be working every day. Their main, and it's a really nice vehicle to be just sitting around for what they're gonna use it for, is serve papers, basically, and
Okay,
transport maybe prisoner here and there.
okay.
So it's not gonna be used every day. It's
Okay.
your call completely.
Okay, well then,
don't-
yeah, if it, I was under the impression it was gonna be like a patrol car or
No,
something like that.
That's not what he told me the last time.
Okay, I wanna make sure that I know exactly what they're
We'll
planning
find
with
out
it.
for sure.
Yeah,
He's coming in
before I
here
make a
later.
decision.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that, I don't know, when we first got that, I was a little bit disappointed that we got it and not a pickup. Come on in, ladies. There are several types of hitches.
Mhm.
I don't know whether if the hitch with those air packs on them
Mhm.
would make that any difference, that you could pull it with that in an emergency,
Mhm.
but if it's not safe, we don't wanna do that.
Mhm.
We'd have to put 10-ply tires and stuff on it, cause I'm sure the ply's not right
Right.
to do that.
Right.
Maybe a weight distribution hit or
Yeah,
something like that.
something like that. If that comes to be, that's something that we can do.
Okay.
Um,
I'm definitely okay with looking into that, but I mean, that doesn't
Yeah.
need to be a today, this month,
No, I know.
or next few months problem, so.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, all right, I'll let you go ahead if you got any more. I interrupted you twice.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything else. Some of it's just my brain being scrambled eggs, but, we wanted to put this, disaster, proclamation, and resolution in front of you guys this morning to sign, just so it can, cover our bases for last week and, allow us to keep going forward with as far as keeping getting roads taken care of
Right.
and that sort of thing.
And we signed it.
Yeah, we'll sign it.
Oh, I missed it? Okay.
No, we had a last week.
We had a
so-
meeting
Oh,
Friday,
Well,
too.
this is a,
You guys weren't supposed to sign that necessarily last week, you're just now approving it.
What-
So you
I
still
should-
need to approve it, I just have it
Yeah.
sitting on your desk for today.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2610 and proclamation regarding to the local disaster emergency, starting June 15th.
June when?
This is June 15th.
that's today.
June 8th.
Oh, whereas June 15th, that's today, we're
Yeah.
accepting it. So let's see where it says the disaster began. Did it say when the disaster began on here?
On the 8th, wasn't it?
You see it?
I don't believe so.
So that disaster declaration, so if you read it, it's for 7 days. So
Okay.
you would approve it today and then it makes it good for
Okay.
7 days. So you would approve it, cause you guys, I believe the chairman, correct me if I'm wrong, Miller, approved a proclamation.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the last one.
Yeah.
The one that we signed, last Monday was from the May 17th flooding, and I can't recall if that had that date of
That was
the
by
flooding
phone.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
do we
and
need
so-
to approve that since you signed it?
Well, that was just
Is that-
so this one allows it to continue for another 7
I'm
days
sorry.
and it'll expire after, if Miller doesn't renew it, it'll expire after 7 days. Or he'll bring another one next week.
Okay,
Okay.
so I will remake this motion. Or we sent the prior motion, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2610 and proclamation, dated today to extend the, disaster.
I will
Disaster.
second that motion.
Moved and seconded to approve the resolution 2610, stated this June 15th. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Miller, can you just give me a quick overview, like what was in the county, since my district was least affected by it, other than power, what was the most difficult damaged area?
So the hardest areas in the county were not Bennington, it would be Ada, Tuscan, and Culver. I think the hardest part was getting an understanding of what actually we had for resources and kind of the priority of everything. After a day, we figured out Culver did actually have a backup generator running to their city hall. So that made things a little bit, that made things a little bit interesting, because, we were trying to concentrate efforts on mainly, Culver and Tesket, but if Culver has a backup, then we can maybe shift to Tesket, who doesn't have a backup. Bennington didn't have a backup either. So, but with there being little damage in Bennington, we wanted to try and focus a little bit more west, but Bennington was still without power, so we had to account for that. Just the extent of the damage, like we said, it's a super good thing we skated by without even any injury, or very few injuries as far as I'm aware, from this, and so.
So primarily flooding.
Flooding was a factor as well, but
It was up and down quick, but it wasn't.
yeah, and flooding was
Surprisingly, cause that, I want you to know,
Mhm.
there's never ever been a flood that quick in Tuscan, in my opinion.
Really?
Cause the
Okay.
day I showed up, when I showed up, not too many hours later, the water was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, not completely, but it wasn't overall every street in town.
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah, there was some flooding, and so that was a problem in Tuscan and the roads around Ada. We're still working on.
right.
I think we still have some roads closed around Ada, but Tuscan was it was kind of a 2-for-1 special, because even after the damage, we were out there and we saw more flooding coming over 18, and I had to get the National Weather Service to issue another flash flood warning so people's phones would go off and get up the hill. So it was just in the moment trying to figure out the extent. But also, I mean, after the fact, trying to figure out, we only have our resources, for the most part, we only had our resources for the first few days, because we had a crew of 3 from the Red Cross come out on Tuesday, but as opposed to being needed in a few towns, they were needed in 4 different counties. And Saline County had their shelter swept out from underneath them. So they needed to jump in and do something about that quick, and so the best solution I had was to drive around, Tuscan once, find somebody, if you see him, find somebody, and then you guys go take care of what you need to take care of. But we tried to get that from the Red Cross, but KDEM says that somewhere in between the Red Cross and them, a connection was not made, and so we didn't get initially the resources that we were expecting or needed. On Tuesday. Wednesday we got the ball rolling a lot better, so.
So,
Just
Well,
a good learning experience.
if you ever get in a bind over there and you don't know who to reach out to just yet, cause you're just here, just call me. Cause I know a lot of guys over there that'll jump right and help,
Mhm.
so.
For sure.
Same here.
Great, I just thought an overview. And you don't wanna go over there and be in the way, that was my strategy. There's no reason to go and just watch and be in the way, so.
I did distribute some water.
Yeah, and thank you to
today.
all you guys, for doing that, for the water and helping out.
I
Getting
had a-
meals to folks.
I had a little bit of, kickback from some of those people about their address.
Okay,
So basically what I got was their names and where the town they were from.
okay, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be fine. Some of my frustration on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday was, I don't know why I didn't have this in my head, but I didn't know that KDEM wanted not exact, but they wanted to keep track of where water was going pretty tightly until after water had been distributed, and so.
That's just, I'm gonna be honest, that's hard to do.
I agree.
I mean, because.
I agree.
So I handed 14 cases off to one lady
Mhm.
that was gonna distribute
Right,
to people that couldn't get there.
right.
And so how do you,
In
It's just
an area
amazing.
with small towns where you're gonna have people helping out people and kind of funneling stuff down,
Right.
it's a lot harder,
So-
especially when we did our drop in culvert and
I guess
nobody
if
was
there's
there.
any problem with them about it, let us know and we'll do whatever we can to have your back, because it's not, it's really ludicrous for them to expect, unless they've been in the middle of something in a small town
Right,
like that, it's hard to do,
mhm,
to get everybody's address
right,
and name, so.
Right.
But here's, if you want this, here's names, I'll keep it if you want it later, I don't care.
yeah, I think I can at least take a photo of that for later and make some notes.
Okay.
And also, I was here on Wednesday and all of a sudden they wanted to have sandwiches. And so the staff here at the courthouse all just jumped and went down to
Yeah.
and started making sandwiches, so I was impressed how the staff just kinda,
Mhm.
everybody kinda reverts, and I made
Well,
peanut
that's
butter
nice.
jelly, but nobody ate those, I heard, so.
Well, I heard the
We ran
jelly
out.
was the wrong kind, but no, it didn't.
Now, I heard the peanut butter and jelly was went first. They were out.
Well, then I feel much better.
Yeah, we were out very quickly.
So there you
But
go.
I love the fact that everybody's, you know, there was staff down there.
Right.
Just down there getting the sandwiches out. And
Right.
It was good. It was a
Teamwork.
community
Yeah,
effort, yeah.
for sure. And I was making, you know, decisions and kind of getting the larger field of view, but, you know, Mary and Keith stepped in just as you would expect they would.
Yeah.
They let me make some of the decisions, and then some of the things where I was a little bit kind of wondering or trying to figure out, they stepped in and they made suggestions and we acted on that. So I mean,
I wanna thank both of them too.
Yeah, absolutely,
Me,
absolutely.
Murray and Keith both.
Absolutely. And then everybody who helped us with meals as well.
I love his
Opa.
teamwork attitude. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna make this, make him excel. Wow, here in our community is that teamwork attitude. So thanks for that.
Okay, well, once I find out different about that Tahoe, you can keep it. I mean, that's who was, that, we bought it, I mean, that's what we got from Marie. And, I've always been told that we could use that pickup anytime we wanted during a disaster. Now, need to be able to get it and not have to go chase somebody down to get it. Need to be able to walk in there, get the keys and leave.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know if that was the case this time or not, but.
Yeah, that was a little bit difficult only because I was with Keith and Marie. I'm not gonna necessarily try to throw anybody on the
You
bus
don't have
here,
to.
but
I know this. I know the situation.
Okay.
I'll take care of
yeah,
it.
I ruffled some feathers and I had no intention of
Well-
doing that and that whole thing. So
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because it's not your fault.
okay.
All right. I'll take care of that. So, anything else?
Nope, that's it from.
You guys have anything else to say?
Nope, just thank you.
Job well done.
Yeah.
Keep at it.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
can't
don't
do
quit.
nothing but. What?
I said, don't quit.
Don't even
What the
mention
heck
it.
did you say that for?
I'm sorry.
No.
You sure not? Does she know something I don't? Okay.
I was like,
Events like last week are why I chose this field and why I picked up the pen to sign a paper. So
Okay.
it is absolutely, you know, my calling, my purpose to be involved in this, and no matter how much it knocked me on my rear, I mean, it was an experience
Well,
worth having.
baptism
And-
by fire.
Yeah, and that's been my life MO. So I mean, we're happy to be here. Is what I'm trying to say.
All right. Well, thank you.
we're happy you're here too.
You're welcome to stay for a while if you want. We're gonna move on to
Okay.
Sarah. So.
Bill,
Yeah.
if you need a copy of that resolution now, or do you want to bring it later?
We can do it later.
Works for me.
Yes.
Sarah Hodges. If anyone knows her, have her step up, please. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
I didn't recognize you. You're
I
here.
know.
Oh.
I'm
Your
feeling
hair's a little different.
summertime.
Well, you got a sweatshirt on.
Oh my goodness. See, this is why I know you guys have missed me.
Are you gone?
Okay.
No, she wasn't gone. That's all.
So, I understand that you want to talk with me specifically about the invoice from Flint Hills. Are we on the same page there?
Yeah.
That's what was in the agenda. So do you guys have that? And okay. So, where do you want me to start? I know if you just, I'll jump in and you guys holler at me. I know if you just read through it, some of the things that kind of jumped out at me, I know that you've got the request there, that administrative funding, 26 and 27, your friendship meals, 26 and 27, then your in-home services. And something that kind of jumped out at me, it says, you'll note that this funding request reflects an increase of $771. This is due to an increase in health insurance. Well, I mean, honestly, it's a $500 increase to administration, an $800 increase to insurance.
Total.
Yeah, and then a cut of $618 to in-home services. So, just saying, I mean, for them just to say, oh, this is just insurance, it's not. So that kind of starts the whole conversation a little bit
Well, I believe
on your back heels.
I believe it was Dwayne that wondered just how much we,
Have you got a dollar amount that we pay actually to North Central Flint Hills Agency on Aging?
total,
Total?
Okay, so
roughly.
when you look at that administrative funding and that in-home services, that is cut every, like, January. So we would have paid that 1978 and that 1500. So that's paid out.
Where do you see 50?
Oh,
okay.
on the 26th, sorry,
Right.
Scott.
26,
Mhm.
1,500.
Yep. And so then when you look at that 27, they're asking 2,500 and then 881. So that'll be their request for next year. And then the Friendship Meals insurance support, long ago, commissioners set that up to where they invoice us monthly. And that was the smartest thing y'all could have done. So that really kind of ebbs and flows. That's only for their full-time employee, which is their cook. And so when they have a cook and when they're working full-time, they had a part-time cook for a while, then you don't pay that. I budget for it every year on the anticipation that you'll have a full-time cook in there.
Don't they pay the administrator of the Golden Wheel, or is that us?
I have nothing to do with that.
Is that
Okay.
it?
Yeah. So the other
So
piece
they
to
do.
that, the other piece to that is Golden Wheel gets much more support than the other senior centers because of that. So in a roundabout way, you do.
Yeah.
You do. So you've got, probably your next highest is $7,500 goes to Bennington as a satellite of Golden Wheel, which gets 25,000. So you can definitely say,
Above this.
yes, that's in my budget, and that's in,
How much do you say?
so 25,000 goes to Golden Wheel every year. And that is your, Tammy, help me out.
That's
Oops.
not center appropriation.
Center appropriations, there you go. So yes, kind of a roundabout way, you do give support to that, to those staff, to that staff. And in Bennington as well, they get 7,500, so that's more than the other little ones that meet less frequently, do not eat in together. And since we're on that, they all submit budgets. So there's also a little bit of me working through their budgets with them so that we can kind of help insurance generally is one of the bigger pieces that's a burden for those small ones as well.
We only pay North Central Flint Hills $2,506, they're wanting 27.
That's it.
And the 881 in home
Yep.
services.
Yeah, that is it.
That's all we pay.
That's it.
Okay.
We pay them and then we pay the insurance
Right.
if there's a
Of
cook there.
employee.
Right.
Yeah, so we haven't, but she budgets the
So
full
what's
year.
that total?
I do.
With the insurance and everything?
That's what we get.
Insurance is 1641.
It's not,
At 19.
is that all?
Yeah.
Closer to 20 probably.
So I have budgeted, oops, let me get me in the right place. Cook's insurance at 16,100. Oh yeah, so I hit that pretty good. 16,100 is what I budgeted. You know, just kind of taking a basic 3 or 4% increase on that.
So, I'll look at the decrease first, that decrease in in-home services. When I sit in the aging meetings, I always feel that that's something we use a lot. Maybe it's because Matt's there talking about what he's doing. But
Yeah, and
do we actually use that side quite a bit?
So I asked
20. That's what we get.
both of the home health agencies that serve, that are the ones that serve the most. So you've got Accessible Home Health, and then you've got Can Cover. And Can Cover, from what I understand, does not have a relationship with Flint Hills, and so they aren't receiving, I'm gonna say, a benefit.
Any benefit, okay.
So, when I talked to Deborah with Accessible, there is a good relationship. Maybe it's because they've been around a little longer, but there's a lot of referrals that go back and forth. That to me is a really important relationship because they're able to be the boots on the ground doing the things that serve our community. And if you look, there was another piece that they included, this fact sheet. Do not ask me questions about this. It's I think it's hard to pick apart. So I do have a couple of suggestions from North Central Flint Hills. So they have a staff person I think we've all met named Ann, and she's like filling in on the food side. This is not her job, and her job actually I really like. So she actually gave me some names that if you want somebody to talk you through this and tell you what some of these things mean and how important they are, we can make that happen. There's a Kelsey Fannensteel that would probably be, and I understand that she's the deputy director of Flint Hills. I didn't know that before either. So,
Well, we can talk about all these numbers
Yeah.
and everything for 100 years. What are they gonna do? They gonna do anything? They gonna get this deal rolling or not?
so here's the
That's
deal.
the bottom line, I guess.
Yeah, so here's the deal. What you asked me to talk about was their request. And so this really kind of is all the things they do. And I gotta tell you, Flint Hills, the Meals on Wheels Friendship Meal Program is called Special Projects. It's not, it's got 2 line items on this. It's a tiny piece of what they do. So if you're, kind of thinking about their request, I'm a little bit with, I don't know, Dwayne, if I'm in your head, but I'm a little bit with, I feel that it is important to continue to support those in-home services and that administrative funding. But then everything else is, I guess I'll jump in with my 2 cents. I don't know if the friendship model for Ottawa County, the way it's laid out right now, works. What I did learn was that I hadn't really thought about. Julie's not the decision maker, she has a board. And I hadn't really thought about that. So when we, say Julie, it's her board members that say, yes, we can spend more money on staff. Let's pull it from this and move it to this because we pay not well, we need to pay better. So that's part of, am I right? That's part of our big problem with keeping staff here is the pay and the benefits. Even if you do get, we do offer insurance, but that pay is just low. And it's kind of like my drivers. It kind of takes a special person with the time and so forth to fit that position.
I wouldn't put it all on the board members.
Sarah,
Oh, no, I know, but there is an element, I think, but,
do they
yeah.
pay the cook the same in all the other facilities?
wow, don't know.
I thought they said that was based on the number of meals you get.
Could be,
It was
yeah.
Do
Okay.
you remember
Sheila-
that, Doug? That it was prorated based on the number of meals we provide?
And I'm not sure that it's so much the pay as much as it is the assistant help in the kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Once you get to a certain number.
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
I think realistically, the pay is pretty consistent across the way, but I think that.
They get more help the more meals they produce.
Yeah, there was a different.
Then you
rate.
can get an assistant. I remember them speaking about that. So as base pay, I really don't know. And you gotta think, these guys are all coming in new employees, and we know how we are with new employees. You're kinda gonna start at that base level. So I don't know, that's not anything that we all can fix. Because you guys are, I feel, the county's doing their due diligence, and then Golden Wheel is using that funding to increase those wages. So,
So what was your, Sheila, do you have a question?
I asked Ann the other day at our board meeting,
Shut that off, please.
when was the last time that the cooks got raises? If any of the employees got raises? And she said she didn't know, she would have to
Yeah.
check in on that. But the 18 county board is who runs the money. So it
Well, let me
Well-
ask you, did she get back with you? This is my
Yeah.
question.
nobody has gotten back
Well,
with us about
we
anything.
were concerned, and then we hear nothing back. That is my problem with this organization.
Yeah.
And we don't have a cook, and we hear, what are you doing about it? And I'm like, but they're your employee. before I forget, I wanna correct something. I had said that there were no meals served the week of, the first week in June, and then I got this email from Sheila that said you and Christy went and cooked meals to provide meals that entire week.
Yep.
So our staff goes,
Yep.
our manager and our board, or your board, goes way beyond what they're required to do to try to get meals for these seniors.
Yes.
And, I appreciate I mean, that's unbelievable that you're doing that to make sure our seniors don't have meals. However, this program, they're getting funding from the state to provide meals, you know? And when I look at their, of course, I look at their 990, and their most recent one that they have filed is 2023, which I don't know why it's so late. But their income less expenses, and income was mostly from grants. It was, they cleared $420,000.
Right.
So that was income less expenses. They cleared $420,000. And I feel like in a nonprofit situation, that should be going to those employees that are so underpaid, like our cooks. They shouldn't clear $420,000 in a year.
I think that part of it, I mean, for me, it was a reminder that this is only one program of all the programs that they do. So it might be helpful to have like Deborah from Accessible to kind of talk through what some of all of these things that I tell you, I don't know, you know, what those relationships are, what else you're getting for that. And I do know that nonprofits, part of how you can function is by having that funding. It generates other funding, so it is,
You
yeah.
have to have cash flow.
Well, and you have to have
Half of
cash
that
in
would
your
be-
money markets and
I
in
mean,
your,
half
yeah.
of that would be
I will
reasonable.
assume that the other functions of North Central Flint Hills and Ottawa County is not broken, because we haven't heard about it.
No, it is not.
So
I
they
don't
need
know.
to focus, their board needs to focus on what is broken in Ottawa County with friendship meals and fix it.
Yeah, and when they
So
look
do
at
we need
this,
to go to some board meeting or something sometime?
Well, I will tell you right now that you only have one board member instead of two. So you can nominate someone to be your second. Every of the 18 counties, there are two board members. And Daryl Reichenberg is one. And then our second board member just had to leave the board. I mean, serve their time.
I'll represent us, if you want me to. I'd go to those board meetings.
I
Tell
nominate
them
Do
how
your
good-
worst.
What?
Do your worst.
Do my worst.
I think it'd be interesting
Do
though
my
to,
best, Scott.
yeah, to have an ear in the room and be able to ask those questions, to be honest.
Do it.
I think,
That's fine,
yeah,
I don't care.
I'll nominate Carla to be our board member.
I second.
There you go.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Will they let me know when the meetings are?
Yes. So Tammy, I think yes, they should. I think we just
I'm
need
like-
to, if it's okay, maybe Tammy and I will get together after this and we'll figure out how to get that to them. Because they just hit me up the other day that it was,
She'll
I don't
be
know,
good
my
for that.
duty to find a,
What?
You'll be good for that.
Yeah,
so,
there's a, resolution, appointment
okay,
resolution that we
okay.
could, pull together for next week,
okay.
so.
Yeah, cause I know
Whatever
it'll
we need
be,
to do to get this to happen, we
Yeah,
need to do it.
and
because-
I'll go over this with them, because, you know,
Right.
like they just said that they give us benefit of 10,000, you're laughing at me.
I know
Yeah,
you'll go
10,000
over it with them,
the
I'm not,
10
I'm not laughing at
$10,000
you, I'm
of
just thinking.
foster grandparent, they haven't even started that program here.
so the thing with foster, I know, there was
And
a
they
few,
said they gave us $10,000 worth of benefit, come on.
I do have that highlighted myself.
You know, and
um,
then they said this respite care, do they actually provide this respite care, or does someone else provide it?
Those are really great
So
questions.
these are all questions I would love to go
Yeah.
over with them and
I'd
say,
like to be a mouse in the
I'd like
corner
to see them
at this meeting.
itemize the
you want me to record the meeting?
That wouldn't hurt. $495,000 input back to Ottawa County. I question the feasibility of that,
Yeah,
so.
well, they said they give benefit of 99,000, this is what they said their benefit is, what do you say?
There was a page in there that they had it highlighted at $495,000 return. Yeah, it has the little blue windmill at the top, North Central Flint Hills area on aging.
Oh, the bottom of the first page.
Right,
Yeah.
highlighted.
Yeah, I put a question mark there, there's no detail of that.
Well,
Right.
so yeah, and if it were me, I might explain this as since we're doing all this work on this end, to keep folks in their home, whether it is meals and it is home health. If they would have had to go into nursing home care, you're having that savings. That's just me taking a
That
shot
could
at
be
that.
what they're doing.
That's not coming out of our pocket.
No, no.
No,
It's,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
if that makes you feel a little bit better about
Whatever
that.
we need to do to get this vacant spot filled
I don't think we
with
have
Carla
to,
is what we wanna do, yeah.
Well, and we should. To me, that's always been the most important. It is amazing to have Daryl, and we've had some really good ones as well. We had Joan Dugan before Daryl, and so that silver-haired legislator position is amazing to have. But these two seats on the Flint Hills board are so very important because that directs us, or that affects us directly
we're
immediately.
relying on those services. We
Yeah.
pay so they can
Yeah.
get grant funding
Yeah.
for those services.
Yeah.
And if we aren't equally getting our
Yeah.
share of those services, then we need to have them redirect.
Well, and even if they came in and walked you through this document, we might go, "Oh my goodness, that's the most amazing thing I've ever heard." But just looking at it, I can't explain it to
Yeah,
you guys.
well, I wouldn't
you know.
approve this funding until we hear more about it.
No, that's fine.
And it's a
So-
2027, so
Yeah.
you have plenty of time to do
Yeah, so we don't
investigation
have
on
to do
that.
this
So
right
yeah,
away.
no, not at
You
all.
have already
Not at
built
all.
this, no, this is in.
Already built in the 27.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
and my
We had it.
numbers are pretty
Okay,
close, so
well-
we're good.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
Sarah, when you
Yeah.
are ready to have them pay, if you'll put it on the agenda, I'll
Yeah.
just let you handle all of this
Okay.
in that way.
Yep, we'll do. Usually January, I think, is when I try to do all of those aging annual things. Kind of all happen then, so that would be
Well, as soon
perfect.
as you can get her on the board, I would be feeling better.
Yeah, I think so. What did you say we need to do, Tammy? What are you thinking?
Probably just a resolution of appointments.
Okay,
I have some that we do for other things, so
Okay.
basically.
we
Okay.
can read it next week. But I mean, I'm sure we can go ahead and let them know that, because you guys have done a motion, so to let them know they need official documentation, we'll have it
Yeah.
after next week.
Have it to you.
Let them know a hurricane is coming.
Now, I think it'll be, and we already enjoy Daryl. I mean, he's
Yeah.
such a
Yes, he is.
a
I
great
think-
communicative person, and so I think you should really enjoy it. But I think the thing is, I don't know. It's just a whole lot of information that I think we'll get by having. I don't know that you guys will get. I should say it that way by having somebody on that board. But you're on the board of North Central Regional Planning,
Mm-hmm.
so to me, it kind of feels very appropriate. So
Yep.
very good.
Kind of serve two different functions.
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, they do. But which is why don't we have somebody on that board to talk about that function?
Right.
So no, I
Okay.
like it.
So now let's talk about meals today, or lack thereof.
So
So,
I will need to hand that over to Golden Wheel, and I'm kind of their backup support people. They've done.
I'm glad you don't feel like we have to pay that right away. I want to hold on.
Oh, with this? No, absolutely not. So
These
yeah.
are just the agreement
Thank you.
You're welcome.
that,
You're welcome.
Salina has with Flint Hills.
Oh, okay. Did you ever get an MOU from North Central Flint Hills on, they were gonna work out the MOU on all of this? That,
Yeah.
remember?
We've got
Is
it.
this your rebuttal?
No, that is, no, okay, let's get you one.
I can say one thing about that. I actually got to spend a lot of time with Anne after the meeting, and so I asked her a million questions, and she did say that everyone has the same MOU. So all of the, tell me how many kitchens there are, 35?
36.
Okay, so all 36 kitchens in the 18 counties all have this exact same MOU. So she said that
Is that the one
The
that you initially
original.
sent out to them?
the original.
Yeah, but each one would be different. I
That's
can
right.
understand if you can rubber stamp it, but.
So that's why, because she did say that it was at our county meeting that it's still in process. Do I remember that right? That they're still working on that, and that the reason why was because this was kind of special because they don't do that for any other counties. Okay, now I'm gonna go sit down.
All right,
I thought I'd throw that in.
all right.
Can I go back to the MOU that you sent back to them? Have you got any response to them? You revised the MOU, you sent it to them, and have you heard anything back?
What we heard was at the meeting that they were reviewing it and
Okay.
going over it, so they've got it in front of them.
If
I'm
they're all-
assuming in their office looking at it from the administrative side and probably gonna go to their board.
If
Okay.
they're all the same though, they should have been able to pull this MOU from the file, that all the other districts have, and then send it to the
Very
Golden
next
Week.
day.
If it's the same.
Yeah.
Weird,
So,
Okay.
there's missing links.
yes.
Miss Sheila,
What do you want?
I don't
What
know.
is it? Tell us what you just gave us.
Well, okay, I'm gonna go back to the emergency management. Claire, no. Clara with Farm Bureau brought all this food in,
Clara,
and
me and
more,
your
yeah.
sister-in-law.
And, yes, and we packaged it up. What she did was 5 meals and a dessert for 10 households. Well, we got to figuring, and a lot of our people that we take care of, and it was for the people that we take care of, they're not gonna wanna cook. So I asked Ann, I said, and this was when Tusca, Ada, Culver could have been using these hot meals. And she told me I could not cook that food and take it out to the people because we would be liable.
Food service licensing, we don't have a food.
So what would have
service
happened
license.
if you
Our
would
food
have-
service license is through North Central Flint.
What would happen if you wouldn't have asked and you asked for forgiveness later?
Nothing. It was my stupidity that I asked the question.
Well, you know, I wouldn't
So
say
she
that.
brought you
You're trying to be honest,
ingredients
hey,
for all
you're trying to
these
be
meals.
honest,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
So they make, no, I better stop right there.
I know.
Yeah.
So they brought you
Liars
all the
on us.
ingredients for the meals,
Yes.
and
And we,
you were trying to make it and
well, no,
distribute
we
them.
were bagging them up. And then we started going through our people, and there might be one person over in Tescott that does get frozen meals sometimes that would be able to cook.
So what do they own down there? They don't own the stove?
They own, the big 2-door refrigerator, the dish, yeah, the dish sanitizer, the hood over the,
I just don't
Stove.
understand how they could say that when
But
we're
we
in
had a
such a
pantry full of
disaster.
food and you couldn't cook it and give it out to people.
if we
Basically.
cooked their food,
Yeah.
we could. But we couldn't cook, well, no, we didn't even ask that, did we?
Can
If
I
we
ask
could
a
cook
question?
their food,
How do you guys do your fundraisers then?
We would be liable if we cooked.
yes.
Anything, probably.
We just go back in the kitchen and cook the food and hand it
They
out.
did good on their,
But they know you guys do, and they encourage you guys to do the fundraisers. And that is not their food. I mean, you guys order all that. So that's your food that you're cooking for your fundraiser.
Ian said
That
something
feels
about
the same.
Because we asked donation, that's the difference, and that's what she was talking about.
Well, you do that to the
There's
people you
such-
serve too, you ask for a donation.
I think
Whether
Russ,
they pay it or not, it's considered a donation.
Russ seems to have something to add, I think,
A
do you?
solution, maybe, or.
A solution?
We have a full kitchen
We do too.
that's usable. Nobody owns anything but the county at our facility.
But do you have a food license, you'd be responsible.
Do you have a food
If we
license?
made something to make them sick.
How comfortable are you on your own cooking, Russ?
We're gonna find out here in a couple of days, you're gonna come eat, right?
Oh, right.
Okay.
That is
Alright.
You know,
Is
but
that a
I even
threat?
went to
let's get back to this.
the
yeah.
churches, the churches are
Good idea.
exempt. They don't have to have one. You know, I went to the Summer Cafe. They're under the church. That's why they're having it at the church. They don't need a license.
So you literally could have taken that food
To a
to a
church.
church to cook.
It's North Central Flint Hills food though, isn't it?
No, it's,
No, this was
It
from
donated
Clara.
by Farm Bureau.
Oh, yeah.
So is the food still there?
yeah, it's all packaged up in the
Enough
kitchen.
to feed 80 people, isn't it?
Well, 80, well,
5 to 6 meals per package and 10 packages.
Okay, 60.
I,
10 households,
So
Yeah.
could you,
5 meals.
so you're saying the people that come to eat, you only feel like one person could have cooked any of those meals?
No, the people that we take to in Tescott,
The people that you take to Tesco?
and that is Ralph Myers.
These meals required cooking.
Yes.
were donated, microwave or on the stove?
No,
cooking?
Still,
it was just all the ingredients for a casserole.
like a tuna casserole.
Oh,
So can you offer that now to the people that you used to serve meals to? Can you offer to give them to them?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you're gonna do with it? I assume you're not gonna give it back to Farm Bureau, are you?
No.
I mean, are you
Yeah,
using
we're
it
going-
as a source to help your,
We're going to
People?
try, yes. And see, this just happened last week.
that was very gracious of
But,
you.
yes,
Blows
but
my
just
mind.
like, okay, we cooked all those meals, 134 meals.
Yeah, I thought it was 134. I couldn't
And I told Chris, yes, I want to take care of Tescott for sure. Well, I delivered him. And Margaret Peterson lives clear out in the boonies. I mean,
That's who they normally deliver to?
and that's who they deliver to. You know, I delivered to everybody that they usually deliver to, that usually gets meals. But she lives clear out there, you know. And,
Well-
you know, she needs
These meals.
these meals, and I've talked to her daughter, and, you know, family can't be there all the time. And we're the, you know, we're the fill-in, but what I gave you is what Salina has with Flint Hills.
this is their agreement with Flint Hills.
Yes. Flint
Okay.
Hills says we cannot go to Salina. We cannot get meals from Salina.
Who says that?
Flint Hills.
But is it in this agreement? Have you read it over?
I haven't read all of it.
Okay,
Well,
Are
I
you
guess-
wanting our attorney to look at it?
No, Christie just wanted you to have it.
okay.
I mean, I just,
On-
So Flint Hills basically has said Saline County cannot provide the meals for Ottawa County.
Yes. Rosie says she can. Manhattan says Rosie doesn't have the power to make decisions like that.
Okay, so Doug, do you remember at our meeting, I think I remembered somebody said, I think I understand that Golden Mill would have to leave Flint Hills first. And once they've discontinued that relationship, then Saline County could pick up Ottawa County.
so if we leave them,
But that's, I mean, and I say all that by saying, you said we, and it made me think of that. If Golden Wheel, I mean, cause they would be the ones who would be making that decision to sever that relationship. But I do understand that you have to say, I'm out. And then that opens the door for someone else
so
to
then
come in.
when they're out, they're
Right,
gonna
but
come.
there's more to that than that too. That is
Okay, good.
Because what happens is you at that point, after we're done with the foods program, so now we lose the cook. We lose the cook, now we have no reason for a manager. And they'll come in here just like they did up in Concordia,
And
they
get-
will
get
take
their
away
stuff.
the hood, they'll take away the refrigerator, they'll take away the dishwashing machine or the sanitizer, anything that's there, file cabinet, storage, dressers, whatever the case that is theirs, they'll come in here to come get. That'll include the utensils, it'll be including a lot of the pots
Well,
and
that's
pans.
if we really drop all the way out of Flint Hills. I mean, we could still participate with Flint Hills for their other services.
Oh, yes.
And
No,
get
no, no,
out
this
of the
is
meal program. Why
One
would they?
program. This is
That's
one
what I was-
program.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I was
why do you
wondering.
think that they would, that,
If
that-
we drop the meal program, they'll come
but
get
the
us.
senior center is more than the meal program.
Yeah.
And they'll
They're
do,
separate.
No,
they'll
but
do
they
other
don't- They don't
programs.
really care.
Right.
I mean, they'll come in and do, legal aid services.
So they're
Come
gonna
in and
if we
provide
drop the
those.
meal program, they're gonna come get the
Yes.
Done it.
dishwasher and all that.
They have done it before.
Yep,
Yeah,
And we've been doing fundraisers. We've got someone here in town that really contributes tremendously, that has helped a lot. And we can just slowly, if we don't need that kitchen, we can slowly put it back together with fundraisers.
Well, you guys have already done that with the stove. You stepped
Yeah.
up.
Or so if you did that, we'd have to find some place to get, so you think if we did do this, you did this,
we have to
We
get
could-
licensed too.
but you could get, in the meantime, you could get meals from Salina if you separate yourself from Flint Hills on this, right?
that's what we would like to pursue.
Can you get it in writing from Salina?
Okay, so,
I'm curious what basis they have to deny us the ability to go to Salina, because we're a member of North Central Flint Hills. Lincoln County is a member of North Central Flint Hills, if I'm not mistaken, and we got frozen meals from them. So what's the rub with Salina and Lincoln County or other area counties?
or Mitchell County.
Or, yeah, anywhere, you know, why are they drawing this line there? What basis do they have for it?
Okay, everything that Julie and Linda sat here and told you guys, have they followed up on any of it? Okay,
They're supposed to have a plan B.
that's how
remember?
that's how they can do it. They just,
Well, I know that this has probably nothing to do with Minneapolis.
Part of
but
what I think is that some of those employees that are down there at that senior center in that kitchen are actually employed by Saline County.
This,
I am not certain that they are
Yes.
actually employees of North Central Flint
oh,
Hills.
they're not,
right.
they're not.
So,
They
it's an
source,
entirely different structure that they've got down there, and that was based upon county's decision 15, 20 years ago
Well,
at a
so,
different point in time.
so in the meantime, is there any way we could get, I don't know if the hospital would do some extra meals? I know that Delphus is getting their meals from the Glasgow, Nickel Home. I don't know, I mean, I just wanna make sure if we do split, we don't go without. Our seniors don't have to go without, so.
They're going without now, though.
I know, that's,
That's the
You gotta-
frustrating thing. Can we make it worse?
We've got a lot of people that don't want the, frozen meals.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot that will take them.
I know, that's a bad deal, but
Well, a lot of that just came up after the most recent cook too. I don't remember ever hearing that happening prior to
Well,
this.
Bennington has
Miller, can you cook
always-
at night?
I can't cook at all. I burnt rice first time I tried. It's pretty, you know, you gotta have a certain talent to do that.
You can come in at the senior center when you get good.
Well,
What do you
Well-
want me to
we gotta
check
get
into?
you food first.
Should
I
I,
guess.
should I go down and talk to Salina? Should we go down and
we
talk
need-
to Salina?
You think our attorney needs to look at this?
I think you can read through it,
I'd like
just
to
as a
read.
beginner.
Okay, at the top of page, Chrissy highlighted the top of page 6. That's what she was looking for. It's what Manhattan pays Salina for meals. Chrissy and I, when this very first happened, we were going to, she drafted a letter to send out to all of our people, because Rosie said we could get meals from them. She had a driver lined up. The people would pay for, what was it, a little over 4, and that way we could pay for the driver, and all of our people would eat.
Yeah, I think that Rosie.
Too simple.
And her board, Rosie reports to somebody, right?
The county commission.
Rosie does report to me. So we need to make sure that she has the authority to do this for us. I would love it,
Okay.
but Rosie,
All right, well, let's give her a direction.
so ask Rosie to present something in writing of what they can do for us, just so we know that whoever has that authority is in agreement.
But Rosie can say what she thinks, but can she really do it?
Well, I was gonna say, who
Yeah.
has the signing authority on this contract?
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
I would submit to you, it's probably Saline County Commission.
Yeah.
and maybe I just need to run over to Manhattan.
Don't run, drive.
Drive? Yeah, don't run,
Well-
it would be a long run. But, you know, I mean, it seems ridiculous, we sit there and wait week after week.
But what would you do if you went to
I
Manhattan?
could talk to Flint Hills Agency on Aging and said, what are you guys doing for us? Of course, I'm not a board member yet, but I can still talk.
How long will it take to get her on that board?
But you would hear, it's exactly what you heard right here.
Well, then there's a problem, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Well, there is a problem.
Yeah.
And I would submit to you, and again, I'm gonna say, talk to the legislators up there at State House for the last 3, 4, 5
Did
years,
you go-
3 or 4 years.
did you go to
And their
Manhattan?
basic response is that, hey, you know, all of this money goes to KDAS. And out of that, it all gets dispersed around, and that's
Right.
where it ends up getting to the Older Kansans Act piece of the Older Americans Act
Right.
overall piece out of that. And that's where that funding is, that is real state funding.
Okay.
That is.
Well, we're gonna have to make a decision on what we would like from her to do.
I think we need more information before we make a good decision.
I'd like to see Sheila go to Salina, talk to Rosie, be sure she has the okay. And maybe we go ahead from the commission or whoever her bosses are to be sure that there's not gonna be a hiccup in this plan, you know, if they say, yes, they can provide meals from Saline County. And maybe we go ahead and do it and see if we get kicked out of North Central Flint Hills. Or at least pursue it and find out if that is a viable
Okay,
option.
okay, so, that is a board's decision, right?
Right.
So we're just encouraging the board to get it in writing.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, so we don't wanna overstep our role in
Yeah, I
your
do.
board. He does. But as far as the organization, I mean, I don't know if you, I just feel like I need to go and stomp my feet a little bit in that.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm with you.
The motion's been made,
Yeah.
you are on the board, it's just a matter of signing the piece of paper.
So
So
can,
then
can I
you
go
can-
represent you guys?
Yes,
And go
Yes.
talk to them?
do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'll go,
Okay.
I'll go this
You,
week.
can you
And
get
I will
that
go-
from,
I will go talk to Rosie.
okay,
Okay,
all
good
right.
plan.
See if she can get,
We need to reach here, not just.
yeah, so, I mean, in the meantime though, we don't have no food.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
So, going
And we
back to,
can't cook down there.
Well, if we take the if the Golden Wheel takes the liability for the food going out, they could cook, right? Is that,
So
No,
should
I
you have
wouldn't
had a
think-
license the whole time to be doing your
Pardon me?
fundraisers? Should you have had a license to do the fundraisers that we've been doing?
That's their license.
And
I
you
don't know,
maybe
I-
do the fundraisers
Yeah,
under
we
their
do.
license?
Because we use.
Better not
Sorry,
open-
it's so
Well,
weird.
you know,
Better not open up
I
that can of worms.
I would
This-
submit to
No.
you that it was probably never ever discussed, because realistically, Amy was a much bigger supporter of our previous fundraisers. Once we got Christie in there, she's like, you know, really, I'm working for these people over here, I am really not going to cook for your fundraisers. Then when she did come in and cook this last time around, it's like, that was it, she's cooking, she's not really volunteering. But she gave of her time for the cooking piece out of the thing. But Amy was just tickled spitless to be a part of that fundraiser.
But Christy will not be cooking anymore for our fundraisers.
It's such a hard thing, if I can jump in, it's so hard to like tease this apart. I mean, because
Yes.
it's just a Flint Hills program that Christy works for. The Golden Wheel is so much more.
Yes.
I mean, and so for them to be able to do fundraisers to support, support Christy, maybe her staff time, new gutters, new whatever they need, let alone the programs that they wanna add.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it's so burdensome. This program is so burdensome on the Golden Wheel. I just feel like it could be so much more if it didn't give
It should be
100%
simple.
of its energies to a program that's not even theirs.
the Golden Wheel doesn't receive anything from Flint Hills other than meals.
Yeah,
Well, I understand that she pays Christie South, they pay
They
Christie
pa-
South,
they-
and they pay a cook for $7.25, and they pay a driver.
Yes.
Those are the,
And there's a vehicle, they've got a vehicle down there.
All right.
one scenario I think we should not forget about when Russ raised his hand and offered the jail facility kitchen. I don't know, would that eliminate liability, like we're talking
He
about
doesn't
here?
have a license.
He
Well,
doesn't?
I
we
got,
don't have.
can I ask another question?
Yeah.
So the company that come in and was feeding our inmates had a license. They paid the cook for the facility. The only thing we didn't do is transport. I don't know if that's something that's workable or not, but I was thinking the more meals you got, the less it costs per meal, that we was charged. And I don't
You'd
know
have
where the
more,
funding
you'd
comes
have
from.
more meals than you would have had prisoners back then.
I would agree, which I think it
But
was.
I don't know if that's against the law or not.
Like $2 maybe at the most for a meal.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
that'd
we
be
could
something
do
that
that.
I'd be willing to work with Russ on and.
I don't know if we can do that or not, but if we
figure out what we
can,
might be able to do there.
Yeah.
We need to have, I think we need to have the
That's the
attorney,
model Salina uses.
Yeah.
I think we need to have the attorney
I agree.
think about, or talk about, we need to have him,
Yeah.
we need to talk to him about whether that can
We've
happen.
got several options, but we need to know what we can and we cannot do.
You go ahead and do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Manhattan pays us rent, very minimal.
Okay.
But most of the stuff it's for the people that eat in,
Right.
however many people. But we need to be charging them the way we are putting our kitchen together. Pretty soon, it's not gonna be any of theirs. And if they want us to cook their friendship meals, they're gonna have to pay us rent
Well,
off the
let's,
kitchen.
you do what you were gonna do.
Okay.
Will you check in to, and we'll talk,
So,
Talk to your food
we need to
service.
talk to the attorney about
I can
this.
talk to that company. see what
Yeah,
they-
talk to
what
the
they-
company.
And see what they say, and if it's legal for us to do it. I mean, they're licensed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I guess we could put all these people
they
in
were gonna
jail.
come in, they were gonna come back in if we put inmates
You
back
come
in.
up and go to jail, Carlene, if we feed you?
so you guys have done a P&L, a forecast on that you can break away from them and financially make it.
No,
I haven't seen one, no.
Christie's worked on that.
yeah.
Christie's worked on a budget.
So you
She said Friday that she's.
But if
Work
we can
on
break
that,
away,
so you
if,
have
if,
to
if we could work
talk
this
to her.
deal out with the sheriff's, or the jail over here, I wouldn't have to have I mean, cause if he's gonna hire a company, and they're gonna,
to be a
cook.
cook.
Russ,
Right.
what'd they cost per meal, do you remember?
he just said,
It's like
$2?
$2, I think, was our highest numbers, nothing over 3.
Okay.
Okay, Salina, they have a company come in and do their cooking. We couldn't get their agreement to print. She couldn't get it.
Salina.
Yeah.
The senior
Senior
center.
Center.
This
Okay.
model is what Salina does.
Okay.
Now, the thing of it is, so for the friendship meals and to count for that, Senior Care Act or Older Americans Act, you have to have a dietitian and they have to make sure it's prescribed, so there might be.
They have a dietitian
Yeah,
online.
that'd be covered.
They had
Then
to
that's-
communicate for meals.
alright, let's move on, and then
Yeah.
So,
you do what you're gonna do. Are you gonna talk to the attorney?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm gonna go to Manhattan and just kinda stomp my feet.
okay.
I've been there before, and generally speaking, they've got a receptionist there, and
That's as far as I'm gonna get?
that's about as far as I've ever gotten.
Do you stomp your feet?
Pardon me?
Did
I
you-
bet I've gone up there to their office.
Have you
there.
stomped your feet there, though?
I told them who I wanted to talk to, and if there's anybody around,
All right.
how am I getting
I
hold of them?
I do have what did Ann say about if we wanna get rid of stuff? Because I have got a load, I've asked him if he would take it down sometime, that we don't use down there anymore,
Okay.
Load of what?
of their stuff.
Alright, well, let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sheila.
But thank you
Thank
guys
you
for
guys
all
for
that
coming.
you
Coming
do.
in. We'll get through this.
Hey, hey, put your,
Take care.
yeah, we'll see you.
So do you have a piece on
And you thought you had problems, Melon.
I'm good. I thought we were good.
Later. Can't talk about these
There are
issues.
bigger fish to fry than whatever
Sorry.
we're dealing with.
Russ?
Okay.
You,
Yeah,
you
they're
can
after
direct
Chris
my
is setting up.
stomping.
Everything I'm working commissioner and city meetings, it is, there are always bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I asked Dr. Stevens to come up too for this, but I think this is probably going to, in my opinion, make a deciding factor. Right now with the last email that I got from Sean, at the juvenile correctional facility, they wanna pay half our bills, but don't pay us a dime for inmates.
Half our bills?
half our bills.
Well, that's not what that email said.
Half our bills
The one you
and
forwarded us,
The email you sent.
no, I've been communicating with him.
you sent us an email, he sent you.
The last one I got from him, he doesn't wanna pay us a dime for housing our inmates.
That's not the way I read it, but.
Okay, you will be paid
So what in God's name is he thinking? We don't have money running out our ears.
Well, it says here in this email dated June 9th that, or his email was dated June 8th, and he said, Ottawa County is only providing the facility we use.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's it. They're gonna pay some of the bills, but they're not gonna pay us a dime per inmate. This last one I got right here.
See, I didn't see anything about not paying anything, but I didn't see anything that they were gonna pay anything.
Dr. Stevens?
I
Come
have
to
some
think of it.
information on just the educational side, when you are ready, I've been able to track down, and I just wanna, there's, funding is, there's some clarification that needs to happen, so whatever you're ready
Wait
for
a second,
that.
wait a second.
Yeah.
Carl, can you kind of shut the door halfway?
Hey, you read that sign?
Just halfway. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear what
It's
you were
okay.
saying.
I know that there's the operational side of it, but there's a lot of things kind of being said on the education side. And so when you're ready for that, I just want to clarify how funding's done and how it will impact Ottawa County overall. Because if you're housing juveniles, you have to educate them. And who gets the money on that isn't a simplistic answer. So I just wanted to make sure, when you're ready for that, if you're ready for that, I've tracked down some information that can help hopefully answer some of those questions.
Well,
I'll leave you guys the bad news.
Russ, when he said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week, was he talking about this week? Like he wrote it last week?
Yes, this week,
This week,
yes.
okay. When we get together, sit down.
well,
So this is what you believe is the final answer, is that he pays zero,
As of right now,
but
at
he
this point.
covers all cost.
that doesn't make any sense if he's paid.
It
zero.
says Ottawa County will not incur any cost because we will handle everything, food, medical staff, etc. Ottawa County is only providing the facility that we use. We will need to negotiate HVAC, AC, lights, etc., but should probably make this a lump sum payment.
Okay,
Monthly.
I proposed a weekly at roughly $45 per head per day at eight kids is what they're wanting, and it was about $2,500 a week.
A week.
That's just per week, yeah, for the 8 kids.
That's if they pay you $45 a day.
But they're not going to,
Okay,
and they're not going to pay us the $25 either to start out because they don't have the funding for it. They're going to be out $200,000 to just start it up. So
So we're gonna pay the electricity,
They're gonna help, I think.
well, yeah, I mean, they're gonna negotiate, we're gonna negotiate for it.
Can I ask Russ?
Yep.
Just real quick on this. Does that include the building, changing the building so the juveniles and adults don't hear or see each other?
Is that what now?
Does that include the construction of the juvenile, of the jail?
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to do something on that side too.
Yeah.
I mean, is
eventually.
that what they were saying in that email? Are they gonna pay for that?
That's what they're saying, is
Okay.
that they're
I
going
just
to
wanted
help.
I was kinda reading
with
out
the
that email and I
funding.
wanted to put that in.
I'd like to hear what their plan is for that, you know, to separate adults and juveniles so that we can still maintain our facility for booking.
well, if you, on our jail, if you take, they want 8 spaces, is that correct? So if you take those 8 spaces out, you still have a separate area that can be adults, right?
Adults and, yes, adults and juveniles have to be separated out of sight and sound. okay?
And do you have
Our,
that?
our jail, to navigate them through the building, you cannot separate them totally. Sean and them guys come up and said that it was good enough, they felt. But the bottom line is, and I don't want you guys to think I don't want anything to happen or to be put in this jail. The bottom line is the sheriff runs the jail. Who you think is gonna be responsible? Me and you guys. If for any reason we're sued, if something happens to these kiddos, it's us on the
Because
line.
it-
I don't
because he
care
said
if
it's
they're
good
just
enough.
housing their people or their kiddos in our jail. That's all they're using it for is
Uh-huh.
housing. We're still on the hook. We're
Can I-
still responsible.
For their
Can
care.
a lawyer write a
Absolutely.
waiver of subrogation or some fancy legal term to eliminate that liability?
Did you see the agreement that he sent?
No,
It
I
was a
didn't.
page is all, or I'm sorry, a page and a half, of what he wants to agree upon.
All I saw was the email and
Yeah,
I thought I
did you-
forwarded everything to you.
Okay,
Memorandum, maybe I didn't get that, I'm sorry. I'll forward all this stuff to you, but there's not much detail. I asked him about their policies and procedures, and he said there wasn't a reason for me to have it because they were the ones that were going to be handling the kids. No, that's not true. I still want it. I'm hesitant, and the reason I'm hesitant, another reason is I've been on these this Junction City for the last month and a half now for budgetary reasons to get me the mathematical equation for how they figure our funds that we give to them every month or every quarter. Nobody can do it. Nobody knows it. I've talked to several different counties and nobody has it. I talked to Sean. Finally, he said, well, this is his exact words. This was put into a spreadsheet back in '09 and they have no clue how it was done. Some guy from another county did it and they don't know how it's done.
Maybe you
They
should go to
cannot
the
get
county
me it.
commission meeting and ask them.
We're going to. Sling County's board member, myself, Lincoln County, we're all this week going to get with them, and it has to be figured out.
Is this the one that's supposed to be a 7-year rolling average?
The 5-year.
5-year rolling
5-year,
average?
yeah.
So it
I
should be a
have done
pretty
every,
simple
I've done every,
calculation.
it's done on a spreadsheet. There's a bunch of things that are included in it, Carla. And again, I'm not a math teacher by any means, but I can't figure out how they do it.
Have you got the spreadsheet, Russ?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, they sent us the bill.
Yeah,
And I asked them for that several times.
Yeah,
And they send me the bill, they send me, the contract that we've signed, but no,
yeah. Somebody that knows Excel should be able to go in and look at the formulas on that spreadsheet and see what it's doing.
they said,
down point to card.
we just plug it in.
Well, yeah, but we'd ought to be able to look at the formulas to see how they're arriving at these numbers. What's the spreadsheet doing, the background?
It just
It's a
makes,
lie.
I'm just nervous.
He's lying.
And they're gonna run off
I don't know
of,
if you wanna call it a lie, but he ain't telling the truth.
they're gonna run off of their license through DCF. But it has to be approved by the sheriff before DCF will grant. I haven't done it yet.
You know, we
I'm
signed
just
that.
hesitant, and I understand your PR, but I also wanna make sure that we're going into it for the right reason. And we're not going to pay more money to operate over there than what we're doing now.
Well, if you honestly don't feel like our jail is set up to do
I-
this according
I
to the
don't-
laws,
I don't think
we
it's set
shouldn't
up.
do it.
And we have,
How can they get intermingled coming?
do what?
How could something happen? I mean, you're worried about something, how could it happen? Give me an example.
How can it happen? Well, I worked with juveniles for 5 years, and I got out of it. Part of the reason I got out of it is because there were so many kids that were suing for inappropriate touching inappropriate comments,
I
this,
understand
you're too rough on this kid.
So it's
because
not the intermingling between some of
Between adults.
the other adults
Well,
that you're worried about.
if the state comes in like they always do every year and assess where we're housing our inmates and they find, or juveniles, because we don't put any juveniles. We don't put any juveniles right now into our jail. They stay in our interview room. Therefore, they're not coming in and doing an audit or investigation or whatever every year. It's a yearly thing.
You don't even put them in the jail,
No.
if nobody's there?
No.
I don't understand.
How many beds?
If
are-
they're gonna come here and it's gonna be passed by whoever's law to come here, what is the problem that you're worried about? Are you worried about intermingling with adults? Or what is the?
I think we're going to be on the hook more than what they're saying, number one. I think because he was already asking if we had people that were gonna monitor the cameras 24/7 for them. I don't have that.
No.
I don't have that.
And we shouldn't have that. They should be.
The
doing-
separation bothers me because
That's
I
what I
don't
wanna
feel
know.
that there's adequate, because you can talk from one end of the jail and hear from the other end. It's just the way the acoustics are set up there.
That's what I needed to hear.
And then the liability issues and also the schooling stuff. I mean,
Well, then
So
it's-
when,
if
so
he-
when, so when this jail was built,
Mhm.
was it built to code to accommodate juveniles and
No.
adults
No.
at the same
No.
time?
absolutely not.
That was before juveniles were in any trouble back then.
Yeah.
The
As
only
much.
thing it was
I
built,
mean, probably a third as many back in, what is it, 40 years ago?
it was built to house adults, males and females. And
Okay.
we never, just,
You
we
should
never
said that.
housed females.
You should never said females.
We never
Charlie's
housed
gonna go find
females
something
because,
for you.
well, and I thought about that. I have thought about that, of taking the females from the other counties and house them here, because
Mhm.
nobody wants to house a female. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to get rid of their females either.
On the school side of things, before you say one thing or another, I guess, or pass anything, I was able to find out a couple of key pieces of information. And I'd be willing to share that. I was looking at the agenda, kind of going down, and I saw that, and so, if you want that information, if not, that's.
Yes.
Are
go
you
ahead.
gonna talk, do you wanna come
Yeah,
to the table?
I didn't wanna usurp him, but I didn't want you to make a decision without.
There's two
knowing his
chairs
piece,
there.
So, okay. That's okay? Okay. Here, we can grab this.
Russ,
So-
before he gets started, how many beds are in a pod?
How many? There's, the B pod's got 12, C and D's got, it's a total of, it used to be 60, but now it's 55. There's 17 each in C and D. And then we've got our, G and H that house 2, 4, 6, 8 altogether.
So they're asking for
Eight.
what, 8
8
beds,
beds.
so what B pod would take care of that with spare, room to
They,
spare?
they wanna go to B-Pod,
Okay.
which B-Pod is centralized in the middle of the jail,
Yeah,
so absolutely would not be separated.
yeah, okay.
Go ahead,
So
Mr. Stevens.
just a couple of questions that, from the school district side, we would want to know, if there's any proposed arrangement or legal agreement, that it's current under Kansas juvenile justice statutes, which are extensive, that the county's got written guidance from Kansas Department of Corrections and KDHE, and there's different licensing components to this depending on which direction it goes. Who assumes liability if a juvenile is injured or denied educational services? So whenever you get different arrangements involved, and there, like I said, there's a lot of extensive codes that I'm finding kind of on this. One of them in particular is, it's not a very great way of saying it, but it's called the PREA. And this is, you probably know this, the Prison
It's your rape,
Elimination Act.
Elimination Act.
So there's some components kind of that, but when the school district is responsible for providing educational services, and what I want to make sure this group understands, if it is the county's decision that this is what is going to happen, we want to make sure that the students get the appropriate public education that they need to be afforded. So this isn't about, oh, we don't want to do that or we don't want to take it on. Once they're here, depending on who's providing those services, if USD 239, depending on how the arrangement is arranged, is making those services, we're going to move forward and we're going to provide them. What the minimal cost of that is, just so you're going into it eyes wide open, we are not able to provide virtual instruction in the state of Kansas. This is a teacher that has to be in the room, and part of that was by some of the, from what I've been able to research, some of the laws that were passed post-COVID by the state legislature preventing people from keeping kids from getting into schools by using virtual means. We're not a virtual school. We have to file for a whole different setup in our accreditation. So this is a instructor being at the county jail, providing 6 hours of instruction. And so the minimal cost of that is $43,400 under the new negotiated agreement, or up to $70,000 depending on which teacher we hire, who has the license, how many years of experience, who we can find. And that also does not include FICA, Medicare tax, and then capers, all those other things that we have to add. If it's a retired teacher who we hire, it'll be more expensive. More than likely, it'll probably be a retired teacher, because a current teacher is going to want to be in a general classroom at the high school. So you're talking then also possibility of capers, penalty, in addition. So I just want you to know that cost. When I looked at the number that was said, $45 per day, and tried to calculate what it would cost to pay for anywhere from reasonably $55,000 with that base salary plus capers, et cetera, all the way over, this assumes that that money is just going to the county and not coming to the school district. Who gets to count the student is very different, because there is the accountability school, there is the attendance school, and then with that last piece, let me just double check here, because I literally was reading through the statute. I haven't worked a lot with it, and I'm trying to kind of figure out on the funding side. There is the attendance school. So if Gary County Detention Center is counting the students under the formula, and they're saying they're housing it here, and $45 per student is going to the county, who gets the funding? Who is paying for the teacher? That's what's really murky, because 239 is responsible for the education of that student because they're in our attendance center. And so their home school may be responsible for their scores and that kind of thing, unless they're adjudicated, and then they're ours. The funding school is probably Gary County Detention Center if they're the license. If it becomes a true PRTF, where Psychiatric Residential Treatment Facility, and Ottawa County is running that currently right now, or another entity in Salina, for example, St. Francis Academy is a PRTF, and so the school district still provides that service, but the funding and the way they count that has to be done in different ways. There are 3 dates that they look at if we are becoming the sanctioned school for them, and that's, and Gary County is saying, yeah, you're taking the services, they're yours. If that becomes the case, they're looking at 3 dates that they do that count. And I have to know by June 30th when I'm starting to file some of the paperwork with KSDE. So the reason why I'm here is this is short turnaround time. I don't even have a school board meeting between now and June 30th.
Right.
The next one is July 6th. So there's a September 20th count date, a November 20th count date, and an April 20th count date. Depending on which agreement you would go with, we would have to look at those count dates and line up, but they take the one that generates the greatest full-time equivalency. So if it is such that, the way I'm looking at it on our calculations, I know you said a higher number of 8, and I think that's probably about right. That's for your cost. For a teacher's cost, we would need at least 6 that would be devoted to that to cover that. If not, the district USD 239, like I said, we're gonna provide it, but what that means is about a mill rate increase for the district to cover that salary, because that would be an added salary that we don't have. Now,
And you
this
can't-
also,
You can't afford that.
this also assumes, just so you know, you're probably gonna have some students with different needs and significant needs, and that's what's tricky about it, not all students are equal when it comes to how much money it costs to educate them.
No.
So that also incurs a cost for CKCIE, the Central Kansas Co-op. So knowing that, and again, we have costs, that's fine. We would just need a budget for that, and we're getting ready to go into that budget, as you all know, on July 20th, usually July 21st, when we've got to give our mill rates. And so if the county has any inclination that they're proceeding with this next year, June 30th is an important date for us. And then also going into the budget, when we're assessing our mill rates, we would want to know that because we've already started kind of our budget needs assessment back in February. So I just wanted you to kind of know that. I would be asking them ultimately this question: can the county get a written financial analysis that shows projected revenues, projected education costs, and guarantee that the school district will or will not subsidize the detention services with local education funds? And if they can't give that to you before that date, that puts us significantly at a disadvantage
Right.
as an organization. But we will do whatever you want as long as we have enough time to prepare for it. Okay?
But,
Thank you.
I mean, I know what I've
Yeah.
heard this a million times from my wife. I know what you're up against, and I don't have that much faith in those people to give you that. Do you?
No, I do not.
Before his needs is what I'm saying.
Well, and so when I put the proposal or sent the email back to him about the $2,500 a week, that was the period they paid us. We're doing that for them, I figured, because they can't guarantee us that they're gonna have 2, 4, 6, 8, or
Yeah.
any inmates here. They're full now. Tomorrow they might not be full.
So
we don't
so
have that number here,
So
they're
they
not
put
gonna
8
pay
in
us.
here, and we get some analysis for him, and then they start pulling them.
Then where's the teacher go? We still
Yeah.
have to pay a teacher.
Yeah. So it's so indecisive. I just don't think, with everything lined up and set to the deal, there's no guarantees those kids are gonna be here for the full time.
There might be kids come in between September 20th and the next count date too, you know.
And
that
but there
wouldn't
may
even
not be.
reflect-
Yeah,
Yeah, there may not be.
And,
Yeah.
And
And they've
I asked them
gone.
about that, and the school is like, well, you don't have to start with the school stuff until August.
I would
But they
encourage,
do.
yeah, I would encourage us also
I know
to
they
talk
do.
with Gary County Public Schools. I know they work with them, and it depends on how the funding goes. If the school district is counting the students and we use our general weightings, that's one way. If the detention center is saying they're providing the services, if they're housed in our school district, we're still on the hook for
Right.
making sure that we meet
No
it.
matter what.
And so if they said they're providing the services, we would want that in written approval with KSDE, Kansas Department of Corrections, all of that, because if they start with that and then they can't provide it, we are still providing it.
Stuck.
And ultimately, like I said, we are going to provide the very best that we can. I just have to have the ability to know how the funding is working. And what I also will tell you is going to make it a little bit tricky this year is we are working on a pilot pre-K for the school district. So if there's any cushion that I've built into the budget, it's to help make that take off.
Right.
If this is an added one, we just want that heads up. The other piece too, and I don't know how this works, but it's my understanding, I did not know that juveniles could be in a jail in the same jail with adults in Kansas. I know they have to be separate and they can't hear sight and sound. When we toured the jail, I think that sound issue would probably be the issue, but if that's the case, I guess if I were to say in my perfect world, I don't want juveniles in a jail with adults even near them, even if there's any of them there, but that's just my take of it.
Well, there probably wouldn't be hardly any, but.
Yeah, but
You never know.
correct. And so, but that being said, the area that we toured when I was there, that was going to be the room, if we had to use the room for instruction, I think is part of the area where, I was trying to understand how we would be able to keep the sound and this and that, and
Well, it's right next door to
Yeah.
G pod.
gotcha, okay. Teachers that would be coming into that setting, that is another kind of special teacher that I would need to be able to procure and find, because depending on whatever the infraction is for the student being there, there's a comfort level, there's that. I would also wanna know from the district standpoint, and I think our insurance would wanna know if it is, how we're protecting our employee for liability, if
Right.
there's any kind of injury and those things. So what I would say is this, if this is something that the county is wanting to proceed with, just a little bit more lead time probably on planning of what that would look like, because there's a lot of questions that have a lot of liability for everybody kind of involved. Doesn't mean we can't figure it out. The short turnaround time on this is probably the biggest concern that I've got.
Right.
So,
Two more things on this, food. We're not bringing a company in to make the food, we're getting it from one of our local areas. When we were talking about doing ice, we talked to, the hospital, the hospital we talked to when we still had inmates in, the small numbers, and they refused to supply us. It just didn't make any sense with the numbers that they were gonna do it. The nursing home was hesitant on doing it. They said they might be able to do it. You know, the golden wheel is out, but we need meals, breakfast, lunch, and supper. It's not just, I mean, right now, we were using the golden wheel because then we put them in the freezer and we were getting by with our inmates, because most of the time, we went and bought a box of cereal and we were able to get by with it.
Yeah.
It worked, but
All right.
with juveniles, we would have to have breakfast, lunch, supper, and
Right.
the other thing I wanna mention is and it's something that we probably need to look into, just being on the board the short amount of time that I've been on it. Their K-Camp insurance, cause they go through K-Camp too, has went up ridiculous here lately. I don't know what that would do to ours.
Oh. You think that comes into play if we have juveniles?
I did for them.
A liability for, minors probably would factor in.
All right.
I just.
Well,
It's just stuff that we need to look
without
into.
calling
Honestly, I don't know, I'm hesitant, like I
Thank you,
told
Dr. Stevens. I know you're
Yeah,
a needed man.
yeah.
Well, you know, when I read this, it said food, medical staff, et cetera. I assumed et cetera meant school costs, but it's not really dictated or
I think
specified.
it's,
But I think the whole separation of the jail, and if we're not set up to accommodate it,
We
I don't think we can get involved.
can't right now. If
You wanna involve who?
we needed to
School.
fix it to where it
Virtual.
could be, I don't know how much that would even cost or,
and do we wanna incur another jail improvement cost?
well, they're gonna pay for some
How do
of
you
this
do
though.
virtual?
But their
You
budget
don't have a teacher in there.
is $700,000.
Monitor.
And right out of the box, that's,
What if they say they don't want?
right out of the box, they're gonna be $200,000 in the hole,
What if they
according
don't wanna do it?
to him.
Russ, I have questions, and I wish Dr. Stevens wouldn't have left so quickly, but I think there's options on the school. As far as virtual school, we just need a monitor in the room to monitor the kids, to have it available. My wife's got a little expertise in school after 43 years, so I've kind of put her onto it. She's done some investigating on schooling, you know, to where we wouldn't have any exposure liability for USD 239. You know, it would be all on us or whoever it might be, you know, the schooling. But to have it available, I am no way ready to say, yeah, we could do it that way, but I wanna do some investigating on that and relieve Dr. Stevens of any concerns he has about his budget or supplying people and so forth. Cause it would not have to be a licensed teacher to my knowledge. It would be simply a monitor that would monitor the classroom for the kids available to that.
And if they-
I don't know, I'm not a school teacher, I can tell you what, just on the board, that they had a teacher, they lost a teacher, so they had to hire another teacher up there in Junction, so I assumed that they had to have a
Yeah.
licensed teacher on
They're not
site.
going to virtual school, because I know a kid can quit public school and go to a virtual school somewhere here in Kansas, and they never set foot in a classroom. They can get their diploma virtually.
But it may not be the same with them. We just need to find out.
Right, I need more time to check this out.
Okay. We'll check
Well-
into it then and we'll move.
Well, Sheriff, what is the positive to saying yes to this? What is the positive?
That they get to relieve some of their stress
To
that
help
they have
them.
with, yeah. To bring their kids and their facility is not overran.
Well,
They're not paying $250, I know, $250 a day to house them in other places.
well, we can't help them if they aren't gonna help us.
If it's not a break-even
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only upside for us is that they would pay us if they were to agree upon it, which right now there's still contention.
Yeah. Need clarification all the way around.
I'll meet with him and talk. I mean, there's nothing that, on a brighter note, if they're wanting to pay, they can pay for our recent, situation that we're in right now, which is our refrigerator in the kitchen is out, so we have to fix that.
Walk-in cooler,
Keith's calling, there ain't very many people that do it because it has to be flushed and the wiring and then putting the coolant back in it, or taking it out of the current one, putting it back into the new one, so he's calling a company that he knows.
well, it makes me a little unnerved if they can't even send us a calculation to prove the 5-year rolling average, that we're gonna get in a contract situation that they're gonna cover all our costs. That just doesn't.
I want
equate
it,
to
I
me.
want it for purposes of the 27 budget, and
well, we can't do it if they can't do that.
they
I mean, we just
Yeah.
can't.
We need some
Bottom line.
transparency from them.
We can't just say, yeah, we'll do it, we don't care, we're a county, we'll cover everything. We can't. Yeah,
I don't trust them.
well, then let's not do it if you don't trust
I
them.
just, the stuff, I don't know.
All right,
He was wanting to move them in immediately and
Huh.
without a license and everything.
No.
DCF, that's a no-no. You can't do that.
all right,
So my trust level is,
Well, you have the law on your side.
okay.
I'll still talk to him and if you find out, I mean, bottom line is I still wanna put people or do something with this jail to make money for the county. That's what we set out to do, that's what I think we still need to pursue, or I
Yeah.
needed to.
Well, we,
But I don't want to cause more funding or more of a,
It shouldn't be a burden on our
Right.
taxpayers,
no.
Maybe there's no sense.
because we're already paying to have them housed there.
couple other,
So we shouldn't make it a burden to our taxpayers.
I got a couple other things.
But can I finish this real quick? If you get the calculation of the 5-year rolling average, will
I'll
you
get it
send
to you, absolutely,
Yeah.
cause
I mean,
I've done everything that I could, and someone told me that if you get the spreadsheet or the, what is it called? Excel spreadsheet, if they send that to you, that you should be able to then somehow click on it and figure out how they're doing it.
Yeah.
The formulas will be available.
But they wouldn't even send me that.
Well, if you get it, will you send it to me?
Well, that's,
And then the next thing
that
is,
is
why
the
should we
goal
sign
this
a
week, I know.
contract with them if they can't even provide the calculation?
Because
Well,
we
how
have
do you
to
do a
house
budget?
juvenile.
Because we have,
We have to house a juvenile somewhere.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so,
we're at their mercy right now,
I
we
know,
are.
that's really hard.
Unless you wanna go to like Reno County or somewhere like that and pay $250 a day.
we're past a lot of time here, but I still
Okay,
have some
all right.
questions for you, or some to talk about. We've talked with Miller about the Tahoe deal, switch. It was my understanding that you were just gonna use it for serving papers and stuff like
Paper
that.
service.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think he wants to keep it,
Okay, that's fine,
so,
that's fine.
If it were needed as a patrol car, I would not be able to justify that personally, me keeping it over you guys for patrol car. So if that's something that you guys are looking
No.
at, then absolutely.
okay, so as far as borrowing the pickup,
Yes.
went in a train wreck.
So,
What
here's
does
the
he
thing,
need, what
here's
does
the
he
thing.
need to do? Be able to,
All I asked, because, so that morning.
well, everybody was in a stress mode. We all know that.
Okay, so that morning, Scott, Dayton asked me, or one of my deputies, about the pickup, because he had to take some gas out to a couple people with generators. Instead of putting it in the back of the Tahoe, was the purpose of the pickup, is to put gas and stuff and transport that kind of stuff with the pickup. That way you don't get in your vehicle, you don't have to worry about it spilling. I didn't know anything about the pickup or it being gone until I got up here to the sheriff's office. Out of courtesy, all I asked, because I wouldn't borrow his, just take it. I wouldn't take the Chris's skid steer or anybody else's without asking them first. That's all I asked. Is that, let me know, so I know
There is a
if
couple-
we need it.
We do have a couple other pickups, don't we?
We do, but none of them were available at the time. I was just coming on duty, and David
Where's
was
the other-
trying to get the
where's the
gas
other
to him. It's out at Ross's place. That's his, but he wasn't on duty that day. It was opposite of Dayton.
Okay. Well, I don't want any, I guess I don't want any hard feelings between anybody about it, and,
Just mention, hey, we're gonna use your pickup that way.
well, it's kind of a perfect storm situation where didn't know they were gonna need it right away and all that, and you didn't.
Well, my understanding was is they knew about it prior to coming over, so, I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, ain't nobody perfect, are they?
My understanding was, so I was getting a briefing for the day, and as far as what we were planning to do for Marie and Keith, one of them had suggested using the pickup, and so that's what I went off of. And I think Keith made a call to Russ, but that's where it stopped. You didn't pick up, which is completely fine, we were all busy, but I don't think that there was any attempt after that to let anybody know, except for
Okay.
whoever was on duty at dispatch there, because that's who we got the keys from.
All right, well, we got a lot to work through as far as our, like you say, when you meet with everybody about how
Right.
things are gonna, how you maybe can improve stuff.
Right, for sure.
For the whole incident about
sure.
everything.
For sure. Because the last thing that I wanna do, and I talked with Russ about that, and, you know, I do not want that to, if somebody's expecting to use a pickup, and I just need to know, you know, who we need to contact and let know for certain things, and who we
Well,
need to have.
from now on, it'll be you
Right.
talking to him,
Right.
so there won't be
If you
any.
need to get gas out, I circle through Culver, test it with 50 gallons in the back of my pickup, you know, chainsaw oil, bar oil, all of that
This would have
stuff.
been early that morning, and it was a
Yeah.
couple people that called in.
Stranded on the highway.
Oh.
No, this was generators.
Yeah,
Were they?
I would be glad to do that, you know, I was prepared, so.
This will not be an issue moving forward, I promise.
Okay,
It's a county vehicle, I don't have a problem with it. I just,
all
so
right.
we are not having to look around and,
Yeah,
So as far as the 911 deal with the generator, something wrong with it, or what happened? How come it didn't kick on when we had electricity go off?
it did kick on. What do you mean?
Well, I was under the assumption that there was no electricity or something, the reason that people couldn't be.
I heard
Contact.
911 dispatch was down during the early moments.
That is correct, and I requested an outdoor warning siren activation for Bennington, and those tones did not go through.
No, but that's not on us, Scott. That's on the cities. That has nothing to do with our 911 dispatching center. Nothing. There's no backups to any of them sirens, therefore, they're not gonna go off when the power's out.
Okay,
They couldn't even get their garage doors open to get the fire trucks out because of the electricity was down, so.
so there was nothing wrong with this generator?
I had Keith check on the generator up at the shed, or at the, water plant, and it come on. It was fine.
And this one worked okay. Well, you weren't out of power here, were you?
We go out for a split second until the generator kicks on. That is one of the systems that is mandated to be on the generator here. And then from there, the generator kicks on to the repeater, and that's how it sends the signals to the cities. Teskett was in the same box for a while. They didn't have the battery backup was not working properly, and then
Where's
we
that
also, theirs is at the tower.
Their battery backup wasn't working, or ours?
For the repeater,
For the repeater.
Yeah.
Or ours?
For
Yeah,
our,
repeater.
well, we're not responsible for, I say that. The county is responsible for the repeater. Any repeater that's here, we're responsible for. The sirens themselves are handled by the cities.
Okay, well, I just wanna make
And
sure,
the sirens are old to the point where they don't have a battery
I
backup.
understand, but I wanna make sure, and I'm not pointing a finger to you or anybody, I just wanna make sure that we don't, the next time, if anything, that we cover all our bases. And we're lucky we didn't have any loss of life in this whole situation,
Well, and
so.
dispatch was doing their job the whole time.
Absolutely.
And they
Absolutely.
were on the phone with the weather station, and I don't know, and I'm not blaming anybody, I don't know where you were getting your information, but the information we were getting from the weather station, I don't think it was the same. And I don't know whose fault that is, or where that our information we were getting were not the same as what Miller's.
Well, somehow or another, we're gonna have to get on the same page about that. I don't know, where were you getting your,
So I was in direct contact with the National Weather Service, and I was making radar interpretations through my experience. I do want to add something quick, and again, all my hats off to Russ, the Sheriff's Department, and the dispatchers. I think everybody did incredible. I do want to make it aware and a point. The siren in Bennington is relatively new, and it is equipped with battery backup, and it did activate for the noon whistle the day after when the town
Yes.
did have no power.
okay?
But
So-
my understanding is the noon whistle is on a different board
Okay.
than your weather radios, which is something you probably, I mean, you might wanna check on that. That's
Oh,
what I
yeah,
was
for
told,
sure, for sure.
was that and that, I think it was Keith that I was talking to about this, said the noon whistle is on a battery backup.
Okay.
The
Okay.
weather fire one is not,
Okay.
which
And so what
makes
do
no sense to
Oh, no
me.
kidding, so what do we have to do to get that?
So maybe the weather one isn't, that could be very plausible, but there was a fire call when the power was still out in Bennington, and that siren did go off, so I will absolutely go in and try and figure that out, because, I want them to be able to do their jobs, and right now that's under them, and as far as I'm concerned, they did.
Well, I'm not pushing no fingers to anybody here, you
Right.
understand? I just wanna make sure we're
For
all
sure.
safe if we have a train wreck.
For sure, and
You know,
I just need to cover my bases and go in and try and figure that out, because there's a lot of, different things going on with
We've got a lot
different
to learn.
units.
yeah, and you're, you're coming into this under fire. Like we said, we just, baptism under fire.
Only one way to learn.
Yep.
Boots on the ground.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you checking out Bennington.
And I would like to get the word out, I understand the Bennington fires, some of the fire districts went up and down the streets, with their sirens, but people misinterpreted that.
Yeah.
They
Thinking
did.
they
And
were
that's,
going to an incident
that's
in
a
the street.
confusion too,
Do
and
they-
I don't know if that was good or bad.
Do they have PA systems on there where you could say tornado warning, take
I
alert, tornado?
couldn't tell you whether they have.
Anyway,
days on-
Yeah.
I would
To be
assume,
discussed.
You're
To be
gonna
discussed.
coordinate that.
For the next one, we'll get that straightened
You
out.
bet.
That was purely an experience call. I've seen that done in many other places when sirens haven't worked, so that's the best thing I knew to do,
Yeah.
and
I know
we'll-
Tesca
Alright.
has asked multiple times, they want to have a flood siren. They said
Yes.
they had one, and to me, right now, we can't, because the way the siren is, it's not the audible, you can't change it.
Okay. we
There are
probably
only
have
two
to-
signals that siren can run, those two sirens in Tuscan can run, and they are already reserved for tornadoes and fire. So the only way that they would be able to get a more distinguishable
Flood
flood
siren.
signal would be to purchase an all-new electronic siren capable of like 8 different warning tones, which
Any
is
idea what
just
that would cost?
at least 50,000.
I would,
Maybe
I
45.
would get with the guy that did our
They do a
radios.
lot of, those guys do a lot of fundraising over there. They
Okay.
might be able to,
Like, for instance, Ada's, where Kay has to go down and set it off. Way that he was talking is you'd have to buy a radio,
Mhm.
tie it into the siren, therefore
all right.
Ottawa County
the sheriff's office would have the ability to set it off
Right.
instead of K going down.
Right.
Who funds that, I don't know.
Okay,
And that's all stuff that I'm gonna be looking into.
all right, thank you.
You bet.
Hello, back out there.
Chris and then we'll be next.
What about Tanya, is she out there?
Yeah, but I think Chris has stuff he's gotta go do with the road.
All right,
It's just gonna take forever.
sorry.
Morning, guys.
Don't look at me that way, I'm sorry.
Maybe right
Yeah.
after this one.
You guys all got that Terracon deal in the
Mhm.
email? It'll be for that bridge on Frontier. For the boring and seeing what kind of cores are in there and what depths and everything like
Mhm.
that for piling and all the other good stuff. Well, how they
Okay.
need to set all that up.
Did you see my email asking where a bridge like this is so I could go see it?
We don't have one.
Oh, we don't
We have one
one?
similar too, but we have that precast one they put in by the elevator that they just finished.
This one?
Yep.
Is a precast?
Yep,
Okay.
precast beam. But that's the only one we have like that.
Okay. I just thought I'd drop by and look at it, the underneath it, but. Thank you.
Okay, we need to sign that.
Looks like just one of you.
So I guess I need to make a motion to approve the geotechnical engineering services for Terracon for the amount of $8,500 for the bridge
Yeah.
on Frontier Road.
Sounds good to me. I'll second that.
Moved
think
and
you hit all the high
seconded to
points.
approve this contract with Terracon. Is there any, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. So where they're doing this core sample, will that be actually where they go, or that's just where they're doing the core samples at? Will they put a beam in there where
No,
they're doing the core
they-
samples, or they're just,
No, the beam won't, nothing like that. They'll actually core down and see what's below what we know
uh-huh,
for however far they believe they need to go for the driving of the piling.
For the
Okay.
proposed site.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, in that area.
Okay.
okay.
So, anything, I guess I got, you think your guys, the grader guys can get over most of their roads this week?
Oh, yeah.
Before Thursday? I had some guys. you know,
We had some of them
normal.
working Friday.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, that's good to
We
know.
worked late Thursday and some of us worked Friday and,
The guys are worried because they're gonna start
Okay.
cutting.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a terrible spot to be in with both happening at the same
Yeah, it's a
time.
mess, it's not,
They don't mix well.
No.
and, you know, when you're harvesting, you use about all the old junk roads, and
Mhm.
they're hard to get over, all of them, and some of them are, like you say, a terrible, terrible mess.
Right,
So I moved that tree up there north of Delphus,
yeah.
and,
And so we got our excavator, our big one back so we can get some of them ones that the mini couldn't, so. We'll have to
Okay,
go
well,
back to that project.
I think
later.
everybody, I'm proud of
Yeah.
the job you guys did.
When I was out Tuesday, right after the incident, I went to Culver and Tesket, and I saw numerous county trucks with your guys out there. And, yeah, they're assessing bridges, roads, and see where the damage is, see where we go.
A lot of trees,
Great
a lot
job.
of trees, a
Yeah.
lot of material, so, and then I'm sure.
So
I'll
what
be
about
working with them.
what about the trees and the burning and,
So I'm gonna get with him and Marie, probably, I don't know if I'll get it done today, but later this week.
It's the next few days thing.
but I don't know how you can burn a green tree, is what I'm saying.
Well,
Yes.
you gotta, I know in the past you have to register it through FEMA or KDM or something like that at the pile, and we can burn it later. We just have to have a designated site, from what I understand, and maybe you've dealt with something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact logistics on that.
Me neither.
But I mean, when I was in Oklahoma, we did it, so I don't know if it's a national thing or a state thing, but we'll look into
Right.
it.
Okay.
So we'll be picking them up for a minute.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm in it.
So were any of the bridges damaged from the flood?
Some of them we don't know, some of them are still underwater.
Salt Creek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do have some that need repair, but not necessarily damage, just more materials.
Right. So, I know you know when you're doing this, I'm sure, but you're documenting all this.
We got guys getting pictures as good as they can, and GPS if they can get it. If not, you know, it's still all right.
So, has the governor or anybody said anything about disaster?
Not on this incident, she did on the other one, I think, the previous.
We have not gotten any notification, from anything on that front.
But like
We've
our
only
daily
talked to Kate.
paperwork will say FEMA on it, you know,
Okay.
that way if we know
Yeah.
exactly what ones to go back to and get copies to him.
Well, you know, it first turned out just that it was gonna be the south part of the county. And then the next go around decided, well, we don't wanna leave out the north part.
Yeah, about the only safe place is clear up there
Yeah.
and clear up in the hills over by you.
Yeah, they only got 70-hundreds over there
Gee.
in one
It's about
place.
the only two safe places right now.
But I heard it was a 4-county area, Saline County, Ottawa County, Lincoln, and
Lincoln.
Ellsworth.
So that ought to be enough for,
Dickinson,
enough damage
So.
in all this
yeah.
I would think.
for FEMA,
yeah,
especially
we need a
Saline
threshold.
I was
County.
gonna say, we
Easy
should be able to
enough.
hit it by themselves.
Yeah.
We can piggyback on them, right?
But, how many years ago did we have when did we just get our money from them? 3?
Oh, was it?
That was 22,
Yeah, we just got our money.
Got it.
23, something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some government where they weren't funding FEMA for a while, so
All right,
Yeah.
maybe we'll get it sooner.
Thanks,
Doing a
guys.
great
Thank
job.
you.
thanks a
Yep.
lot.
Real quick as a side note, I meant to touch on the test kit thing too. So test kit is laid out in such a way that they would need 2 sirens. So they would be looking at between $60,000 and $90,000 for.
2 sirens to cover the whole town.
They have 2 right now.
Oh, they have 2.
They have one at the fire station, one in the center of town.
Okay.
Come on up, Tanya.
Okay.
So my name's Tanya Paul. I'm an outreach specialist for DVAC. June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Specifically, today is Wear Purple Day, and so I brought some ribbons to pass out. If you can't wear it, it's close.
All right.
At least maybe
Thanks not to
somebody.
wear purple.
What was I thinking?
I know, right?
I'll wear it next week, it's still in June.
Yeah. Throughout the month, I often
I
remember.
think I put it on my,
Do you like me to?
I got one somewhere. I don't know where I did. I think I gave that to my wife.
And you can save it for October because we wear it during October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So in
Okay.
regards to elder abuse, we've done several outreach to senior centers just to promote awareness. As far as our services, we consider elderly 60 and over. I always like to remind people we're not there just for the primary person, but the secondary as well. So friends or family that are trying to support that person, we can provide support services, education, awareness, all of those things. Oftentimes, I think with elder abuse, they may focus on there's verbal. I talked to somebody here recently that there was verbal, but after she was talking for a long time, there was other dynamics taking place, and oftentimes those are minimized or not seen for what they are. So anytime you can educate yourself on just what to look for, conversations with people, it may seem something fairly small, and then as you're talking, you can kind of identify as it goes on more red flags. So people can call our office anonymously if they just have questions about what our services entail, or it's scary to reach out to an agency the first time, and so we understand that. So it's great that you can always relay. They can call us anonymously. We are not mandated reporters, and so we differ from APS, Adult Protective Services, through DCF. Sometimes we work with them with an individual just to reiterate to that individual what rights they have, options they have, and ultimately try to promote their freedom of choice in that mix. So I think that's about it unless you have questions, and then I do have a proclamation to read with just a little statistics in there.
so if someone comes and reaches out to you anonymously,
Yeah.
you would go do a home visit?
No, we would log kind of a little bit about the phone call, but if they keep calling, we may ask, hey, would you like to do what we call a welcome packet, an intake process, which we can do by phone or in person with them.
So if somebody has any type of dementia, they'd probably be out of,
That's a dang good question.
It
Yeah,
It
really.
is. I've worked with several where that was, I mean, kind of a concern, and so,
I
but
know, yeah.
we're there to, provide education, resources, those kind of things. We don't investigate per se, but we want that individual to ultimately feel safe in their environment, so.
So if they say, they just got through telling one child, yeah, they've been mistreated, and then 2 seconds later they say to you, no, everything's fine, really, it's not.
Or they say, I'm happy living
Yeah.
here,
That's hard.
and then you realize it's not a good environment.
Right.
You evaluate the surroundings when you are in a home visit and that kind of a situation.
Well, and ultimately, we don't meet people in their homes. We'll meet with them, you know, a public location, those kind of things. So APS would be one that would maybe do that kind of investigative work and
Right.
ultimately, but yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's sometimes why we work together with them, ultimately if the individual wants our services, because our services are voluntary, of course. so,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, well, we're ready.
You always ask me the hard questions, especially about dementia and stuff.
No,
That
it's
is,
just,
is tough, right? Elder Abuse Awareness Month, June 2026. Whereas according to the National Council on Aging, 1 in 10 seniors in America experiences mistreatment or abuse, including domestic and sexual violence, financial exploitation, and neglect. And whereas abusers of older adults are both women and men, are usually family members, caregivers, healthcare workers, or other trusted individuals. And due to the shame, fear, and other barriers elders face in reporting abuse, only a limited number of victims are able to get the help they need. And whereas elders throughout the United States lose an estimated $2.9 billion or more annually due to elder financial abuse, and $28.3 billion annually due to financial exploitation, such as the illegal taking, misuse, or concealment of funds, property, or assets of a senior for another's benefit. And whereas too often elder abuse threatens the livelihoods of older individuals, erodes their extraordinary potential, and increases their risk of death by 300% compared to seniors who have not been mistreated. And whereas Ottawa County's vulnerable and older adults of all social, economic, racial, and ethnic backgrounds may be targets of abuse, neglect, or exploitation, which can occur in families, long-term communities, and medical settings. And whereas we all have a responsibility to support the safety, welfare, and dignity of vulnerable and older adults, and must work toward ending elder abuse by assisting victims in accessing the information and support services they need, creating better and more resources for older adults in need, instituting effective intervention and prevention policies, and engaging in discussion with family members and peers to promote the awareness and prevention of the quiet epidemic of elder abuse. Now, therefore, we are asking the Ottawa County Commissioners to proclaim June 2026 as Elder Abuse Awareness Month in Ottawa County and urge all citizens to work together to help protect elder adults from abuse, neglect, and exploitation, because it is imperative that we refuse to tolerate the indignity of elder abuse.
I would make a motion that we name June, or name June 2026 as Elder Abuse Awareness Month.
I'll second.
it's moved and seconded to, proclaim that June 2026 is Elder Abuse Awareness Month. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright. You have something for me to sign?
I do. I actually have a copy that you guys can keep if you want two
I've got it.
signatures.
I got a
Okay.
copy of it.
Okay,
I already have
two
one.
copies, okay,
Got one for,
yeah.
You guys are all prepared.
I don't know about that, but we do have the paperwork.
Yeah, I was gonna start my own copy that you gave, or that I printed out from the packet down the line, but I decided to highlight some statistics there.
I knew she'd always bring,
Yeah,
some stronger paper, nicer paper.
appreciate what you do. You never see the results probably, or we don't see the results, you know, you just work in the background.
Right, and sometimes it's difficult because they get to decide if it's a one-time thing or something ongoing, so sometimes I don't know the end result, but I have hope that I made an impact somehow.
Sometimes a phone call is all you can give them. forgotten.
Yeah, well, thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time on a busy day, it sounds like so.
You've been busy.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Before we move on here, Miller, do you have anything else you wanna touch on?
No, trying, Tammy and I have been working to try and get the debrief figured out. There's, kind of after hearing Russ and kind of some of the things that we had challenges with, there's just a lot of, cross liability and, just a lot of cross dependency on certain systems, so I'm kind of getting the wheels turning on maybe how we can come up with a solution to those problems,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you've done a good job, great job so far, and
Thank
it's not easy to come into where you came into.
Yeah, coordinating all these different groups and have all these backups, that's
And to
hard
meet
to
all these,
foresee
different personalities for the first time, right off the bat, I mean,
in a crisis mode.
yeah. So if people are a little bit more high-strung at these times than normal. So, well, shall we pay the bills?
Yeah.
I would make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of the accounts payable of $71,246.08.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to pay the bills at $71,246.08. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
How about the minutes for, should have put them all together.
The minutes aren't in here. Did you do the minutes?
They were in there.
Do you have the minutes on your
No,
desk?
I didn't steal them.
Just a receipt, or the accounts payable.
They're all of your changes, so if you
You
wanna
made all
print
the changes?
Mhm, so if you wanna print out the print a new set.
So, did you,
I don't think I had any major changes, so.
You didn't, I didn't get any
Yeah.
from you.
I'll just make sure
Tyler,
I
you
didn't,
are?
make sure I didn't throw them on this.
well, do you want me to print them out real quick?
No, I don't have, that's not, I don't have,
Do you want me to print them out before we,
not necessarily unless you want to.
No,
Well,
I'm okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 8th meeting
as amended,
as
Well, the
Yeah.
ones presented will be with your changes already.
as presented?
presented.
Okay. I'll second that.
That's moved and seconded to, approve the minutes of, June 8th. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
You probably want me to print them out anyway to sign them or not?
Either one, if you want to, that's fine. Yeah, otherwise I don't forget to.
Is
Do you
Tam-
want my clerk comment?
Is Tammy Cox here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
The only thing I have is there's no meeting June 29th due to it being the 5th Monday of the month. So just,
When?
June 29th. We'll have a meeting next week, but not the week after.
Okay.
Oh,
That's it.
man. Scott says, oh, I can work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Depending on,
I didn't- I'm glad you
depending on,
pointed that out.
weather, I'm gonna have to look to Miller to give me a forecast.
Gonna have flotation tires on your Pontiac.
I think we'll be all right if it just, I mean, there were cracks in the ground
Mm-hmm.
like that before this stuff, so it should have took it.
Yeah. There were no AEs, were there?
Those are on hold until I'm done with the July abstracts, so I'm gonna try, budget information sheets are due out today. I'm gonna try real hard to get them out, but with our school issue recently, we'll get it worked out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about, you, Carla?
That's all you had?
Short and sweet.
Okay. All right. So, fire districts, I want you to know, 8 is good, and they expect to be under R&R, and Culver is good, and expects to be, when I say good is, I have all their information. And they expect to be under R&R. When I get final valuation, I can assure them of that, or they'll probably make adjustments. And Tuscan is the same way. They expect to be under R&R. Delphus, I met with Chris Fruits. What a nice young man. He, I mean, his heart to serve. And he talked about going on that tactical force to serve other communities.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed. Anyway, we're in good shape there, expect to be under R&R as well. He had that, I did request that we start including their social fund, because they do have fundraisers, and to include their tactical force fund, because it is accumulating cash to buy a piece of equipment with. So their budget will be a little bit different than it has in the past, but I told him full disclosure is always best, but he was very receptive and very helpful, so I was really glad he came in. I'm still waiting to hear from Minneapolis. As I initially presented, it would be over R&R, and I wrote him back an email and said, this is what it's gonna, it's gonna be a result in R&R, not that it's a big deal, but just a FYI, and he hasn't got back with me. And like Bennington, I think probably needs the most work, just from a capital improvement plan. So I feel really good about, and Chris sounded like he could get me the information I need for those other funds fairly easily. So they'll both be non-budgeted funds, so it won't affect their, their ad valorem dollars.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm hoping to get all that, the fire departments kind of wrapped up soon. You guys wanna see, when do you guys wanna see him? Maybe that first week when we come back in July, I can show them to you in case you have questions.
That'd probably be
You're
good.
okay with that?
Yep, that'd be fine.
Since we're not having a 29th meeting? Okay, I told you I sent an email to Roger Marshall about the EMS should be receiving Medicare and Medicaid funds where they make a call whether they transport or not. And I got an email back from him that he said him and the staff will research it. I guess I'll have to follow up to make sure they do.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did.
Back up there, did you hear what she said?
Couldn't understand it all.
Okay. Go ahead, he'd like to hear what you said.
Oh, well, so I sent an email to Roger Marshall saying that, when EMS makes a run, whether they transfer to someone or not, they should receive funding from Medicare and Medicaid, and that will have to be done at the federal level. And so he said he would look into it. So I just wanted you to know I reached out. I think, we had that short conversation on a different note, the short conversation about the windows, right?
Yep.
And so, I have a copy of that, Kansas statute if you want it. It's 19-15, 116, that says that we can do general obligation bonds for 300,000 or less and not go to the taxpayer. So, I assume that's why the jail did the 300,000.
Probably was.
But I know if the window project really does end up being over $1 million, we'll probably need that 300,000 just so we can keep a
Right.
capital outlay budget in there. But anyway, and maybe we can ask, since we're not having a meeting on the 29th, maybe we should ask Keith to come on the 22nd and bring us more information about windows if he's able.
Mhm.
Do you wanna?
If he has, I
ask
mean,
him to
if
bring-
anybody's got back with him.
If you guys wanna ask him, then he can come to me and get on the agenda.
Okay.
Do you wanna ask Keith?
I'll text him.
Okay, just so we can see that he's making some progress on getting
Right.
these windows done. Okay, so the main one is Greg Jackson, and Greg Jackson was the one that you questioned the accounts payable last week. And so he sent me all this detail on a text message, and I can't get the whole text message to print out. But he showed me his entire file about each and every load. He knows exactly where it goes.
Well, that's good.
And so.
I didn't question him, I questioned,
The search, well, there's two steps. Number one, the detail was not included in the bill that we saw, but he did have a detail to come to that total. And he said he has requested that specific trucker, Levi Walters, to include that detail every time he sends a bill. So
Right.
just to get that, but I know, but if you wanna see the detail that Greg sent me,
well, I can see that it's pretty detailed.
yeah.
And
So-
I just, you know,
And then the fact about, the surcharge, he said that ever since he's been doing it, that, each trucking company goes off this same document, it's called, DOE Weekly Fuel Surcharge Quick Reference Guide, and it's calculated every month, and all the deliveries he's had ever since he started doing it was based on this surcharge report. So he said he's been doing it since 2021 or 22, and he said they've always had a fuel charge added to it.
Same guy? Or no
Oh,
matter who?
no matter who the trucker is, yeah, has always had a fuel charge on there, a surcharge on for fuel, and they always use the same document.
Does
Do
it
you wanna
say who
see
the
it?
truckers were?
What,
Does it say who they were?
well,
The truck drivers?
Levi, you mean Levi Walters?
He was the only one, or is there
No,
others?
all of them, he said, has always had
Yeah.
a fuel surcharge,
I
and he
just
always
wondered if-
ties it to this document to make sure.
But I was
it's-
just wondering if there were any other guys that haul in our area. I've never seen that before.
Well, he said that, he said he talked to other townships to ask them if they had been paying a surcharge, and they said yes. So that Richland wasn't the only one.
Never showed up?
Yeah, I've never.
Do you wanna see it?
No, I believe you.
Yeah.
But he sent me all this information, so I want you to.
Well, that was nice of him.
Yeah, to assure you that he is tracking everything and has all the details. He said he'd come in and present it if he wanted to, and I told him he didn't want
He
to.
didn't need to, I just,
Yep.
I didn't like the looks of that bill. I mean, cause I've got one in my personal life, says 4,500 combine repair, and so you don't, you don't know what they did,
Yeah,
so.
well, you can ask the townships in your areas if when they buy rock. I mean, Greg is he goes and bids out all the rocks and bids out all the trucking before he has anything done. So, he said that this is consistent with him and other townships, but you can ask your other townships.
I will.
Okay.
Did you wanna see it, Dwayne, or you?
No, I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
It's black and white.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up with that, and, let's see. Oh. I wanna say that I thought the budget meeting on Friday went really well. And I was so pleased with the way it was pulled together, thank you, Tammy, and Jody and Scott Lloyd, looking at all our options, in an attempt to do the very best job we can for our taxpayers for 2027, so. I added everything together, Scott, and I came up with a really good number that I think we can keep it flat. I hate to say that out loud.
No, don't say that. I hope so too.
But I added all the changes, and if I picked up everything correctly, even with the ads we had to do, so I'm very, very hopeful.
Almost. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. So when will Scott Lloyd get us something back? Do you remember?
So we're currently waiting for the auditor to give our audit back.
Oh, he's waiting for
The
cash
financial
numbers.
statements for that. I did speak with our auditor, regarding some things we had discussed on Friday. And the auditor was actually currently working on our budget, so I'm hoping.
Did he have a problem with us changing that one thing on noxious weed? That was the only thing that really
That
affected
was
his
what I
budget.
called him about. I had to think for a second. That's what I called him about. No, it's not gonna be a problem. We're actually just gonna do it through a journal entry.
Okay,
So I wanted to, that was the one thing I needed to catch him before he gave us the audit back. So that's why I knew he was working on it. So yes, that was actually what I called him about.
okay, and Jody can give you a number to use, because she should have actuals on that for 2025.
Yeah, and that's what I'm waiting on, is to get those from her. And so she was out the rest of the day on Friday. So I had sent an email out, and I'm actually currently waiting on it. I'll get that to our auditor, and he didn't give me a timeline, but I'm optimistic that we should have the audit back, at least a rough audit back in the next 2 weeks, that it's not waiting here.
Yeah, and I do wanna say that, to do this, we pulled a lot of resources. And really, it was to fund road and bridge. I mean, everything, it was to find a way to fund road and bridge adequately, I should say.
Right, we've cut them, I mean, not you guys, but before we took a whack out of them, we shouldn't have.
Yeah, actually, it's just a way to restore their cash balance.
Right.
So, anyway, I was very encouraged and I was sitting there adding my numbers together. This was my little sheet after everyone left. I was like, I get a negative number, I'm so excited.
What are you gonna do if you need that day?
It's on the 21st,
Okay.
it's a Sunday, so.
Okay.
Okay, and the last thing I had is, I listened to a podcast by Josh Phillips. I don't know if you know Josh Phillips. He works for Epic Times, and he does different topics. And so he claims that the noise of a data center, you can hear it a mile away. And that is consistent with what you believe, Dwayne, right?
Right.
But a mile sound like a long ways to hear the noise of
I
it.
wished I knew what kind of a sound it was at a mile.
Roar, like a grain elevator aeratation system.
Really?
With fans, yeah.
I mean, I can hear that
Yeah.
from my house from Delta Elevator for sure.
And the other thing that interested me was, he said 85% of the water used evaporates within the system. So even if it's a closed water system, 85% still evaporates because of the heat. And you're welcome to look it up though, and listen to it. It's only like 20 minutes. And then the last thing he said was that 38 states had given benefits for data centers, and Kansas is one of those, because their sales tax bill, I had it here, their Senate bill that they passed, gave them that they didn't have to pay sales tax on all their purchases. So Kansas is one of those 38 states that have already offered, but I think in the bill, it specifically said, the larger data centers, so I don't know, but anyway, it was more information, not necessarily good, but I just wanted to.
Right. Well, I seen there was something somewhere about the nuclear deal in Kansas.
Nuclear reactors, those
Yeah.
modular ones?
Yeah.
Now those I
There was
haven't
an
heard
article-
anything bad
There was an
about.
article about them, and I should have copied
They
it.
usually tie right into the data centers.
Yeah.
They don't usually make them other than for data centers?
No, they usually just tend to tie in. Like if you have a data center, you're most likely gonna get the modular nuclear reactors as well.
I thought.
That's not always, but sorry, but
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah.
I thought you brought those up independently
Yeah.
before the data centers and.
Yeah, they were independent because the grid is going to suffer inadequacy, we'll say. I think over the next 10 years, we're gonna triple our power demands. So the nuclear reactor system needs to come online, and what I've seen in 3 or 4 years, 5 years down the road, they will be online, but the data centers require so much, and then the statutes, or the state, I believe, is requiring that they bring their own power generating
Right.
plant. So whether it's a natural gas plant, coal, whatever, they could bring, if the technology arrives in time, they could put a small modular reactor in conjunction with the data center.
But I think, you brought it up before the data centers, did you know of people, having those prior to, without a data center, trying to get them to our county?
They are
Is that
in
not feasible?
Wyoming, there's various places around that are working towards data center, or towards small modular reactors. They're pioneering it, but
It's still in the infancy
without the data
stages.
center, yeah.
Keith says he hasn't received anything back from the architects yet, but he will reach out to them again, make sure they do something.
Yeah.
If he gets anything, he will, get on the agenda.
Okay,
Okay.
and that's all I have, other than Miller did a
I
great
wonder
job.
where that-
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
Mel,
Go
and
ahead,
all the
Mike.
emergency
I'm
management,
gonna Google that
all the staff.
nuclear deal going.
Yeah, okay. I wanna also say thank you to Miller for doing a great job, outstanding, and coordinating everything on our efforts for the rough week we had. And I just wanna briefly talk about Senate Bill 488, that is supposed to be the property relief effort, property tax relief effort. It is a consumption tax, which that scares me a little bit with Ottawa County being near the bottom of the sales tax, and I'm assuming that this consumption tax is gonna be similar. They've got a lot of provisions in it, but the big takeaway I had that concerned Ottawa County is going to be, are we just going to get a consumption tax on what we consume, or is it going to, I mean, Johnson County, the big high population counties that have high sales tax, yeah, they're gonna generate a lot of money, but I don't think there's any way a consumption tax in Ottawa County would generate enough money to replace our property tax.
Well, that, I was wondering if that was the one you were talking about, because, I mean, there is no way our sales tax, I mean, we have 9 million of ad valorem dollars and 500,000 of sales tax.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna give us,
Yeah.
you're gonna tell us to tax our people
Right.
Well, they're
30%
gonna,
on
Well, they're gonna have to
purchases?
come up with something different.
they're gonna phase out property tax, so in light of that, you know, but how's it gonna affect our budget, you know, if we collect money from consumption tax, tax, are we gonna replace equal dollar for dollar for what we would drop off of property tax? You know, that concerns me a lot, so,
Well, so what happened to Senate Bill 480 in the
Died.
session? It died?
yeah. I don't know if it can be revived, I don't know all the intricacies of Topeka, but, I got my information from Gary County Republican Party, I believe, Greg Wilson, I believe was the name. And I've got a call into him, or an email to him to see what his reaction is, cause Dickinson County, I think, you know, I don't know how they're gonna determine if all of these counties are going to generate enough tax to replace the property tax.
You know what, I really think they just need to, and I hate to say this out loud, support the smaller counties. The bigger counties can create sales tax revenue to offset property tax, and do.
Yeah.
Look, you look at the mill levies of these large cities, they're nothing, they're so low. My son's house is, I pay more for my little house in Bennington than they pay for theirs, and, it's because they live in a large city. So, they really need to find something to help smaller counties.
And I'm a big advocate against, well, that's oxymoron, I'm against, a cap. They've tried to push the 3% cap through, we're already taxed too high, that's just going to prevent future
Well,
raises.
my problem with the cap bill is that they were doing that even with the people that bought a house and came in and paid the higher price. Let's say we have somebody move from California, they can afford the higher price house right beside the other house, and to cap that person at the lower rate too. You don't want, but then you stop people coming into your county. But in Florida, that's what happened, is that when you bought a house in the neighborhood, it went on the tax rolls at the sales price.
Yeah.
And that cap bill was saying it doesn't go on at the sales price, it goes state,
Right.
and that's gonna,
Yeah.
that seemed unfair too.
There's no magic silver bullet for this, they've gotta work out something. And Tammy had it, raised your hand, and I'd caught it, but you didn't, cause you were looking at me, Carla, so.
I do wanna just point out that, so Kansas legislators are on a biennium, structure, so what's gonna be helpful is all the bills that were introduced that did not get passed, not all, there's some exceptions, are dead. So, if any new bills are gonna have to be reintroduced into the Kansas legislation, this would be a great opportunity to talk to your representatives and your senators. I know I got to speak a couple of times in really pushing the fact that, you know, the unique thing about Ottawa County is even in those small western counties, they do have bigger state assessed utilities, they do have wind farms, they do have, those types of things. So pushing, you know, so that 3% goes away if you like the Ad Astra bill from Adam Smith 2 years ago. But I just want you to know that we're in a biennium, cycle, and so most of those have died and have to be reintroduced. This is a great opportunity that you brought up to.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification, because I know some bills could be reintroduced, but not in this biennium year, I guess, so. like-
Yeah, because it's even numbered year, yeah.
Yeah,
So, you know, I mentioned that Ty Masterson was coming on the 29th, and, I'm really hoping.
Where's he gonna be?
Yeah, I hadn't heard that, so I was gonna ask you about that.
What I found about this nuclear deal is they're thinking about paying offering stock options in Kansas, and they're putting one around Parsons.
Usually
Yeah.
for a pilot program, a payment in lieu of tax, or they just give you a lump sum in lieu of paid taxes. That's a few programs out there are doing.
yeah. That, well, I think the state has put a 20-year moratorium on taxes on data centers, and I'm not sure about other alternative energy. They put a moratorium on it, but that's up to the county then to negotiate a good pilot agreement so that they can still get the revenue from that.
Right.
It's not as much as the state tax would generate or the property tax would generate, but at least it's better than something. And that's where the negotiating skills come up with counties.
What'd you come up with, Carla?
It's at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:30 at the new extension office.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, I really wish that
What
they
day is
would.
that again?
Monday the 29th,
At
7 to 8:30
7
p.m.
Okay.
I really hope that I don't know if the extension agency is sponsoring this. If so, I'd love to have them bring more than just one candidate. But because, you know, I
Maybe
think
well, that's far, well, no, that would be extension.
I think I told you that when I went to the one in Salina, they all said, oh yeah, we need to give property tax relief, and nobody had a solution.
Right.
And I was just like, you guys, you can sit there saying that all you want, but you're not coming up with anything.
You know, if they really wanna make a splash, somebody should come up with something.
Yeah, I really think
I
it
mean-
has to be my best thought is to you limit it to the low valuation counties, which to pass the Senate is gonna be tough. And to really focus on residential households, because they're paying for those services, those 18 required services. So if the state could somehow rebate specific residents, the number of residents to that county to provide those services to those residents, up to them, because they can't do it for everybody. They can't do it for the larger counties, because the amount of dollars would be crazy. But if they could do it for the smaller assessed valuation counties, it would be very helpful for the 18 services.
Boy, they'd throw a fit if they did that, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? But you're right.
I mean, if you take out the Sedgwick, the Topeka, and the Kansas City
yeah.
metro area, and just, I mean,
Yeah. We didn't get this way overnight, and I doubt if we get out of it overnight, but
No,
we
'cause
gotta
I-
work towards it.
Cause they've got all the power down there in Johnson County.
Well, yeah, the Republicans had the power of all the legislature this past year, and they got us nothing. They didn't have the governor, but they could have overridden the governor, a veto. If the legislatures would have passed something, they could have overridden the governor's veto.
well, that's why they have to bring it up. You have to bring it up at the beginning of their session rather than let it just die.
They kicked it around at the end of the
Yeah.
session and then nothing.
And so it has to be.
Just to show you that they were thinking about it or trying.
And we are thankful they did not override the veto on the governor. We are thankful for that in our county.
Oh.
Because they passed the 3% cap.
Oh, yeah.
And we
Yeah.
don't, in a county
That
that
was not the
doesn't
right
have
thing.
sales tax, that would have hurt our county worse.
Yeah.
You would think that they could sit there and do a calculation, how many counties that would hurt. We're not the only person that doesn't have very much sales tax compared to assessed value, ad valorem tax.
Miller, you need anything else in your office?
Say
Do
again?
you need anything else in your office?
I'm making those assessments and talking to folks, but I think the worst thing for me to do is to come in and immediately start throwing the checkbook around, so. Tammy and I are
Well, listen,
we're talking about the budget, I'm identifying some things that I think would be useful to me, but.
I've not ever looked at this job as being personal gain for me, but I would just like you to come up with some kind of a forecast for the weather, to let me know when it's gonna rain and not rain, so I can put up hay.
No pressure there.
They quit publishing the Farmer's Almanac.
I know what.
They did?
They did. Is it
Just this
online?
year?
I'm not sure if it's online even. Did they just dissolve?
Finders ain't dissolved.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We
Yeah.
used to be able to, 20-some years ago or so, you could go by the forecast
Yeah.
pretty well. I mean, not every time, but now, there's just no way on God's green earth.
There's so many models that get ran and just, there's so many cooks in the kitchen as far as, models and.
I didn't realize that until I followed this guy in Kansas City, and he showed some models,
I
and
remember you were telling me about that.
this guy, he showed me some models, and he said, well, this one's not, I don't believe this one. I'm thinking, well, why the heck do they even print them if they don't, but.
Yeah, there are models that have biases,
Yeah.
towards certain conditions. One model will show things colder than one thing a particular model will be colder, one model might historically produce more rain, so you kinda just have to take the biases and kind of do a mean.
I'm gonna be calling you.
Okay.
Which one do I look at?
I do have one comment. On the 13th of July, we have inspection of our equipment at the Ottawa County Service Corporation at the carnival. The inspector will be there and he will look over everything, and I'd probably ought to be at that. That's on a Monday morning, of all things. I think he's starting at 10 o'clock, so.
Oh, so you're gonna bolt
Okay.
at 10?
Yeah,
So what about anything about the insurance?
but we're on. We got it. We're good. We're
And
going
price?
about half.
So you guys are okay if I have an opportunity to go meet Flint Hills Agency on Aging in
Go,
Manhattan?
girl, go.
Okay, I just wanna
After-
make sure that I have your blessing to go talk,
Yeah,
blessing to go talk to them.
yes.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't got,
Medicaid in Kansas has passed a billing code for treatment in place. It starts in July 1st. There's like 7 or 8 bullet points that's gotta be met in order to claim it.
That's amazing,
And
I thought it was a
there's-
federal
it-
thing.
Which is great that it's even out there, but I've got a few questions. I'm a little hesitant. We'll see how.
So it's a Kansas thing rather than a federal thing?
Well,
That's-
it's more than that, cause I seen, I can't remember what state, I seen a Facebook post about, they were blowing about how their Medicaid in their state had passed basically a tip. And I don't know all the details of how all that works, but, Kansas Medicaid has passed it, and there's a billing code.
Was it
It's called
Medicaid
TIP,
and Medicare?
Treatment in place,
Was it Medicaid and Medicare?
Medicaid.
Just Medicaid. So, are your services, are they really swayed towards Medicaid rather than Medicare, or you really can't tell that?
It varies. I don't have the numbers to give you what percentages is Medicaid, what percentage is Medicare.
Uh-huh.
But it's better than nothing.
Oh, it is. Anything that can come to you is better.
Carl, does that translate to, go out on a call and it's a left assist or something of that nature?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
a little hesitant, like I
Yeah.
said, there's like 7 bullet points that's
Okay.
gotta be met in order to claim it, so.
Okay,
or,
But it's fair, it's $250, so if you can meet it.
Wow, that's what you get back from them?
That's what we can bill for.
that's
what it says.
incredible.
Wait, is that their reimbursement amount?
That's what they would pay, yeah.
Wow, that's a huge benefit, potentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah, everybody's happy about it. We'll see,
you gotta,
Yeah.
how it actually pans out. There's a couple things that I question on it, and legislative and different things tend to put things in and then it's gotta be tweaked later, so.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a
Does that
start.
become automatic when you put your stuff in that software that automatically goes to the state?
As far as statistic wise,
No, I'm just saying, I know you use that software
Mhm.
to record what you're doing.
yeah, image trend.
And so will that automatically trigger the Medicaid payment or not?
That's usually, now I need to get with the leases and see where they're at on this, cause they do our billing for us. And they pull stuff off what we input. They pull off of that to know what codes they can use to bill. And I don't know, I need to talk with her and see if there's gonna be something we need to do specifically for her to see, or
To make
we
that
have to
qualify.
record for her to be able to.
And so Bennington is well aware of this too?
I can make sure he knows, I mean, it was put out through
Okay.
KEMSA, and I bet probably other places.
And they use Delisa's too, so,
Yep.
yeah.
Quite a few do.
Yep.
okay.
I'm done. Speak your mind,
Okay.
Scott. You done?
I'm done.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 10:43.
Is there a second motion? Oh, second. I got to second it.
Moved in second to adjourn at 10:43. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay.